Road racing for the second time this season, an already challenging next-gen vehicle will be tasked with an equally as challenging track. Watkins Glen, resurfaced and in its full form, 55 laps, featuring turns these drivers have never seen before, is coming up next on Pit Stop TV. Good evening all, and welcome to the virtual Watkins Glen, New York. Devin Zimmerman is alongside for the call this evening, and Edward Shearer is out and about taking photos of all the action tonight. And Devin, this is quite the challenging circuit, adding corners to the layout. These drivers normally, they're adding corners to the layout that these drivers are normally used to and making it a whole different thing. What differences can we see on the full course tonight as opposed to what we'd see maybe on, the traditional Cup layout?
Yes, so the traditional Cup layout does not use the boot at all, Emerson. Instead, tonight we are going to use that boot. You can see it there. Turns 6, 7, 8, and 9 make up the boot. Normally, you'll see after the outer loop there, which we call the carousel, in normal NASCAR racing, you would take the straightaway down to what is they're calling turn 10, the penultimate turn there. Then you have 2 turns to finish the lap. However, tonight we are going to be taking the boot, and that means that we have a couple more turns to deal with. You've got the chute, which leads down into turn number 6, which we call the laces. Then turn 7, the toe, will be a very interesting corner. You got to get the car really slowed down to make that turn. Turn 8, the heel, is also another challenging turn, as well as turn 9. All of these challenging turns are something that these drivers are really going to have to take note of, as it is very, very slow corners on what normally NASCAR considers a very fast road course. So Watkins Glen normally considered one of the fastest road courses that NASCAR goes to. But tonight they're really going to have to slow it down in that boot section, take their time, and be very precise and technical through those turns. This is one of my favorite layouts of this track. I'm not a big fan of of Watkins Glen without the boot, but if you add the boot onto it, just that technical prowess that you need to do to make it through the boot section makes it so much fun and challenging, and I can't wait to see these guys tackle it.
So here it is on your screen again, the boot layout, or the full course here at Watkins Glen International and all of its glory. Again, a beautiful, beautiful circuit these cars going to tackle tonight. Again, I kind of like to toy with a lot of the drivers and a lot of the people who really push for Watkins Glen on the schedule, saying that the normal Watkins Glen Cup layout is about as closest to an oval you're going to get when it comes to road racing. It's really just, there's only a couple real tricky sections to the Cup layout. But you throw in the boot and it's a whole different animal. Now I know you're looking at the track map, the orient is upside down to what you're used to. That's just because it's north oriented. Actually, I don't believe so. I believe this is actually west oriented. Nonetheless, this is how it is traditionally shown. You see the start finish straight on the right side of that track map. And you have the hard 90-degree right-hander, turn 1, that's a downhill corner. Then you're on the flat up to turn 2. Then you're going up the S's. Now this is some upward elevation change over turn 3. The S's is really where you're going to make up your lap time tonight. The S's and the toe are really the 2 points where all your lap time will be gained or lost tonight. You want to get your left sides as close to that inside curbing of turn 3 as you can. That literally is going to give you the best exit out of 4 and into the bus stop chicane. Now, of course, the bus stop is a very technical section as well, but you can live with a decent but not great bus stop. You get to the carousel, you got to keep it nice and firm through the carousel. You don't want to get on the gas any earlier than what you have to. You do have some curbing to catch you on the way down the chute into the laces. That is a heavy braking zone, turn number 6. Very, very heavy braking zone. You got to use a downshift in these cars to get those cars woed down. And then it's a long sweeping corner through the laces up to the toe. Turn 7. There's a lot of discussion on how to take turn 7 in these cars. You get a wide entry and kind of cut through like you take the West Horseshoe at Daytona, or you run the innermost line through the toe. We'll have to see what the fastest drivers do tonight. And then the heel, again, it's a downhill braking zone. That is, again, another very difficult braking zone, but if you can just nail it just right, you'll set yourself up for turn 9, a lot of coasting. Turn 10, a second gear corner, and to turn 11, the final corner, also a second gear corner. You're back on the start-finish straight, and that's a lap around the track, Devin. A fantastic circuit we got on our hands tonight. I can't wait. Again, I think this is the first time I'm ever going to see a NASCAR race on the full Watkins Glen layout, albeit virtually, but still a feat nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure, and I can't wait to see these guys tackle it. It's going to be a fun one to watch. We do have, of course, our road course aces that we talk about every time we come to a road course. Adrian Schumacher, Joseph Kazi, they seem to run away with it, but if we remember back to last season, Seth Fitzpatrick almost gave Joseph Kazi a run for his money on that in the Truck Series last season here on the Outlaws Sim Series. That was a great battle all the way to the end. And if Seth Fitzpatrick can replicate that performance, maybe we'll see 3 or 4 cars up here at the front battling.
Definitely. And talking about battles, let's go and look at our season-long battles so far, Devin. We look at the point standings coming into tonight's race. Max Service actually opened up his point lead with the run he had last week. He was the third-place finisher at Rockingham. Jennings, I believe, finished 6th, if I recall correctly. So Max now has a 14-point advantage over Jonathan Jennings. Coming into the road course, Seth Berger is third in points, 58 points back. He's got a lot of ground to make up if he's going to have a say in this regular season championship. Jeremiah Stutzman there in fourth, 81 points back. He's always a consistent driver. He should also be looking for a top 5 tonight to maintain that position. And there he is, driver of the number 2 right there in 5th place in points, Devin Seth Fitzpatrick, 139 points back. And while he seems pretty safe over the cut line as we're rounding about the halfway point of this regular season, a win, and his first win at that in the Outlaws Sim Series, will put a halt to any discussion about him being a driver in this, in a championship battle later this season. Scott Bailey's there in 6th, 157 points back. Jacob Reeves in 7th, 162 back. Joseph Kazi is now in 8th. He has not been making the past couple of weeks. I don't see him on the entry list tonight either. Joseph Kazi is going to be on a free fall due to point standings over the next couple of weeks. He's there, 164 points back. Greg Holt there in 9th, though. He's a driver that needs to be looking on the up here. I don't actually see him tonight. He also missed the last road course we did this season at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, Devin. He's 166 points back. So that's a couple heavy hitters right there, season-long wise, that I don't believe are showing up tonight. James Gilly there in 10th, though, could be taking advantage of that. He's 182 back in a point leader. He's got about 20 points back to Kazi and Holt. We'll see what happens there, Devin. But we have the most recent road course winner lean off the second half of the points, Devin.
Yeah, that's right. Adrian Schumacher going to be sitting there in the 11th position, 191 back, but he does have the win. That was at the other road course, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park there in Canada. He took that win. Andrew St. Coeur, the Canadian, right behind him. Speaking of Canada, 197 points back. Kevin Thompson in 13th at 204 points back. Then we have Zoltan Herzog, who has a win to his name, sitting there in 14th, 219 points back. Adam Gardner, 225 points back, and Doug Solms in 16th on the bubble, 240 points back. Currently, Devin Smith sitting there right off the bubble, 2 points off the bubble, actually, 242 points back from the lead. And Andrew Pratt and Derek McMurtry also sitting there 18th and 19th, 7 points off of the bubble. Doug Solms, they can all look to have really good nights tonight. And Brad Bothwell makes his return to the top 20 after a decent run last week. He gets into the top 20 finally, and he can start to make some ground back up and get himself and his season righted, only 15 points out currently.
So again, that's the season-long battle that we're looking at this season. And again, it's a wild look to these points that they're going to change even a little bit more. We look at Doug Solms, you said right there, on that cut line, Devin. Remember how he ran at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park?
Yeah, he had a very good run at Canadian Motorsports Park. I think he got a top 5 out of that one. I think he did finish 5th. And a very good run. He practiced that track quite a bit. We talked to him in the pre-race of that race. He said that he had practiced quite a good deal on that track to get road course racing down and to be more competitive at them. So maybe looking for him to see if he put in some hours this week and can make some noise in this field tonight with another great run out of the 67 machine.
So we can go ahead and take a look at the practice charts right now, Devin. It's Seth Fitzpatrick, Adrian Schumacher, Jonathan Jennings, Nicholas Shelton, Jeremiah Stutzman, the top 5. Hertzeg, Berger, Service, Solms, and Mickey, the top 10. A good mix of names up here. And then we're looking at about 22 drivers on the track into the session at this moment, Devin. Looking like a little bit of a smaller field. Should be a cleaner race, but that means that perfection is going to be, I guess, put on a pedestal. You got to be absolutely perfect because there's not a whole lot of buffer for you in a 22 car field.
No, there's not, and any little mistake can really derail your night. We saw what happened to Joseph Causey at Canadian Motorsports Park. One little mistake, he gets into the wall, he has tons of damage, and he ends up having to retire from the session, not able to continue. So, one little mistake can really derail your night, and that boot section is very tricky. We talked about the toe. You talked about that toe section being tricky. Just personal experience, I think the heel is very tricky, in particular with that section there. If you feel like you can gas the car up a lot faster than you actually can in that section, and if you do, you're going to spin around. There's a very close wall on the inside there that you can make contact with and really put some damage on the car and in your competitive night. But looking at those names in the top, like you mentioned, sitting there fourth, Nicholas Shelton. He had a dominant run last week, the only car to finish on the lead lap and win the race there. Nicholas Shelton, absolutely domination from him. A lot of momentum coming in tonight. I fully expect to see those top 4 really battling it out. They're very close, actually, in the standings currently in practice with about just under 9 minutes and 30 seconds left. But Fitzpatrick on the top. That's encouraging to see there. Schumacher might not be able to run away with this.
Well, you remember, you touched on it a little bit at the beginning of the broadcast, Evan. Joseph Causey was pretty much in firm control of last season's race, but he got a penalty. And then Seth Fitzpatrick all of a sudden became another horse in that race, and he never let Joseph Causey get away. It was a 2-horse race from that time that Causey got that pit road penalty to the end of that race. Causey never pulled away from Fitzpatrick. I wonder how much did Fitzpatrick learn in that regard, and is tonight the night that Seth Fitzpatrick finally becomes an Outlaws Sim Series winner, Devin?
I mean, it very well could be. He sees that he has the speed in the car tonight. He is very comfortable at this track. It seems like he can really get speed out of that car, that number 2 car. So there is a very good possibility he could win tonight. But you can't discredit or count out Adrian Schumacher. Anytime we go to a right-hand and left-handed turn course, you have to count in that Schumacher. He is just so fast and so incredibly talented and consistent, and that's what it's going to take tonight. Consistency, being on your game every single lap. You cannot take a turn off.
So we look at the practice times right now, and I kind of already went through the top 10. They're not really they're not changing too quickly or anything because these are long laps. But is there any name that catches your eye, Devin? Any name that you'd like to maybe expand some knowledge on here tonight? Anyone you want to maybe come get an interview with?
We can get an interview with. We haven't really talked to him in quite a bit. Seth Berger. I know he's dealing with some issues with his knee, I believe. It'd be good. He's sitting there in 7th right now. One of the former champions of this league. Has a win so far, but has not probably got the amount of wins that he wants. And road courses typically aren't his thing, but sitting there very nicely right now. It'd be nice to get and pick Seth Berger's mind, see how he is feeling about his chances tonight.
And we have just gone live on the Outlaws YouTube channel. So I do want to apologize to everybody who missed a good portion of the pre-race show tonight. But if you don't know, we're here at the full Watkins Glen course for tonight's race in Watkins Glen, New York. We're at the Watkins Glen full course, the boot layout there. You can kind of get a look at the track map here. So it's a little different from what we've never seen this in NASCAR before. And it's a little different to what we're used to. But if you're just tuning in on the Outlaws Sim Series YouTube channel, my apologies. There's some technical difficulties that we're not able to get going right there, and we have since settled that. We are still working on Facebook, so if you know anybody who traditionally watches on Facebook, direct them to the YouTube streams right now. And at that, we are still waiting to get a Seth Berger. He's actually not in this particular... Oh, there he is. All right, so we do got a Seth Berger. Devin, he is headed your way.
Hey, Seth, how's it going tonight, man? You're sitting in seventh. Seth in seventh at the current time charts here at Watkins, Glen with a boot. Walk us through your experience with learning this track and learning the boot in particular. A lot different from what we normally come to Watkins, Glen.
Luckily we were just here a couple weeks ago in a different league, so I have that track time, but again, it wasn't with the boot, so it's definitely challenging with the boot in a stock car. The only other times I've run the boot is in officials in a Ferrari, which is obviously completely different. But yeah, I got track time a little bit on the boot, so I know what to sort of expect.
Yeah, what are you finding most challenging about that boot section so far in this stock car in particular?
Probably the elevation changes. You gotta control the tire lockup on this downhill, the first left-hander into it, and then the second, or well, the first right-hander here is pretty deceptive. You could take it a lot faster, but if you driving like 10 feet too hard, you're going straight. So you gotta be really precise on all these entry points, really.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I love the boot setup, in all honesty, and I like that we are coming to the full boot course tonight. You're sitting there in the top, I think it's the top 5 of point standings with 1 win. I know you'd like to be higher than you currently are in the standings. What are you looking forward to the most coming up here, other than Watkins Glen tonight?
Just try to have decent runs and not get wrecked out. I've had decent pace in pretty much every week, really. Finished 5th last week, even though it was 2 laps down. It's still a 5th place. I got decent points there. I just need to have clean runs to get these stage points, really. I think I can move my way up. Yeah,
we know that there's a lot of speed in that Swift Racing camp. Your teammate there, Max Service, 3 wins on the season. You've got 1. So again, Swift Racing showing out here in the Outlaw Sim Series. When it comes to road course racing, though, we do know that you have a slight issue that you're dealing with. I just wanted to check on you. How are the legs? How are the knees tonight?
I just before you came to interview me, I threw on a knee sleeve and a knee brace since this is going to be an extremely long race. So hopefully that's going to help out.
Yeah, I hope so. I remember during that other league race, you were having some issues with this track in particular, braking and keeping up the speed in the car, just because of the issues that you were having. But we wish you luck tonight. We're going to let you get back to it. Almost time for qualifying, but appreciate you taking your time and chatting with us.
All right, thank you.
And that was driver of the number 77, Seth Berger, joining us here in the booth for a previous interview. And Seth right now is currently 7th on the charts, as you heard Devin say there. And again, getting ready to get to racing tonight here at Watkins Glen International. Now, the other drivers I want to kind of look at tonight is that, well, the 82 of Adrian Schumacher, he's just kind of popped up to the timing sheet. So, we did talk to the 2SF Fitzpatrick at Bristol Dirt. We haven't talked to Adrian in a second, though. So we will go ahead and bring on Adrian Schumacher, the other of the Swift Racing duos, and the driver currently top of the practice charts. Adrian, how are you feeling? This is a little different. Have you ever done this before?
Yeah, but in a Formula car.
All right. I'm more or less, man, have you ever raced the stock car around the full course at Watkins Glen?
No, I haven't. This is my first time getting on this track.
That is absolutely wild. So right now you were top of the charts. You were cleared by a second right now in practice. Does that?
You look at that.
I'm sorry.
I didn't notice that. My bad.
Right now it says a second. At least on my end. How much stock are you gonna put in that, or do you think maybe there's some sandbaggers and for qualifying, or what are you feeling?
Uh, I think there might be some sandbaggers, but yeah, who knows?
Well, so with a minute and 12 around seconds left here in practice, what are, I guess other than the 4 extra corners, what are some of the key differences you're kind of bringing tonight as you would opposed to a NASCAR race that Watkins going Cup layout?
Yeah, just that new sector. These are that I'm unfamiliar with these stock cars, and I'm just gonna try to crawl through it, see if I can exploit any of its secrets. That's it.
And now, what? So getting into the boot is definitely one of the hardest corners. Would you? How do you go about taking what's it called, the entry to the boot, the laces? Because that is such a high speed corner and downhill. These cars, they don't really have those good of brakes. Are you braking earlier than if you'd have to, or you just need brake bias for that corner, or what is your key to getting into that corner?
My key is when I get into the carousel, I go extremely high, kind of work my way down to the bottom, and because it's a totally different corner now than the cup layout, I am gonna try making a brake bias adjustment coming to the downhill corner, because the back end just steps out. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, you have the one win on the season already at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. You have a good head coming into the qualifying session. If practice results hold any meaning to you, so we're going to leave you to it, Adrian. Best luck to you, and we're going to get on with qualifying, and we'll get you back down to your team.
Thanks, guys.
Driver of the number 82, Adrian Schumacher, and well, there he is. He's rolling out for his qualifying attempt, and well, Devin, it is 10 minutes. You get 3 laps, and each lap is about 2 minutes in length. So you've got to get going, well, within the next minute if you're going to get all 3 laps in.
Yeah, you do, but you really want. I think about that third lap, the tires are going to be falling off if you're really pushing the car, going for it on these first 2 laps. So that second lap, you should still be able to get a very good time. At that third lap, the tires are going to start falling off. The times are going to start dwindling. So I expect to see these guys really go for it on the first lap. If they don't hit it exactly right, then maybe they will reset, because you can do that in the sim and reset. Take that second lap and really go for it. But basically what this does is gives you 3 chances to go for it. If you mess up one turn, then you have another shot. You can go back out and try it again by resetting. So that we might see some drivers do that. But again, you have to go all the way around this track just to take the green flag. And that's a lot of time. So if you do that strategy, you may only get 2 chances.
On board with Seth Fitzpatrick as he's rounding the final 2 corners on his out lap, and I believe, a quick look at it. No, I don't have that information. Anyway, I believe he is going to be the first driver to take 2 restart finish, and we're going to start with our quality timer here, and this is going to be an intriguing one, as we're going to see this time start to click off there in the bottom right. And Seth Fitzpatrick, look at him right there. You see that curbing? It's broken into 2 parts right there. You can run on that flatter part, but that raised part, that's really going to upset the balance of these cars, especially with the floors on these cars now, Devin. These cars don't like any change of elevation, even right there in the S's. I know how important it is to get as close as you can to that curbing in the S's, but getting on that curbing could hurt.
Yeah, it can upset the balance of the car and really take the rear end of the car around. Also, right here in the bus stop, you can jump that first one. You see the car actually jump these curbings in that bus stop area, and you can really upset the floor and hurt the floor. When you come in for your pit stops, you might see some optional damage to be taken, and that is damage to the floor of these race cars, because it's so low to the ground, and hitting those curbing the way they are is really damaging the underside of these cars. Fortunately though, It does not seem to have too big of an impact on the aerodynamics or the speed of the car unless you hit it extremely hard. So, but if you're braking at normal spots, it should be just a few seconds of damage, and it shouldn't be overwhelmingly noticeable while you're driving this race car.
Well, here comes Seth Fitzpatrick coming back up the hill for turn 9. And again, a lot of coasting through here. Car's nearly silent as he comes across the camera right there. And this is a tough section because that corner you're carrying so much more speed in it traditionally, and now you're going so much more slower into that corner. You almost have to remind yourself you got to push it a little deeper in there.
Yeah, normally you break it. There's an end of that blue wall on your on the outside of you on your right hand side when you're coming into that penultimate turn. That is normally a very good kind of aspect of where you need to brake to get into that turn. However, you can push it quite a bit deeper because you are going so much slower out of the boot section when you go there. Because normally you come off of right here, we're right along with max service. Normally this carousel keeps going all the way around, and you're going to end up coming and going straight to the right there. But this time you're going to take the boot. So that's a good bit of straightaway racetrack that's been taken away from these drivers, and you can really push the car into the turn. And I'm sure if we ride along here with Max, you'll see him push it even further than that outlet in the wall. I'll try to point it out when he gets to it, when he gets back out of this boot section. But again, we get a nice view of the boot section through the toe, headed up to the hill now. Nice little straightaway section, and then a almost 90-degree turn here. You got to be careful on the exit. Don't light up the tires in the rear and spin the car. And the same thing in this corner. You feel like you could pick it up so much quicker, but you can't. You have to wait just a hair longer. Now you're up to speed. There's an outlet in the wall right here, or right back there where you can really brake. But it looks like he's pushing it quite a bit deeper than that outlet.
Well, that outlet, that's more or less where you brake on the cup layout. At least that's where you're able to brake, but you gotta really roll it in there. I don't think you even really lift off the throttle, depending on how your setup is. Max service will put it'll put it fourth quickest for at 81, and he will do the reset strategy. So we'll see if he can make it back around to get a second lap in. And hey, James Gilliard into the barrier.
Yeah, luckily
he's got to get going now.
Yeah, he should be able to get another lap in, or maybe he's gonna just say no. Or that might have been his third reset.
Oh no, he doesn't have a single lap in, and he will not get back out onto the track. So that'll be it for James Gilliard. Out. Rockingham race winner Nicholas Shelton.
Yeah, we saw that Chrome Eagle 1 car take the victory lane last week, and in dominating fashion, coming in with a lot of momentum this week.
So Nicholas Shelton, here he comes. So here's entering the boot, and a little wide there. A little bit of a lockup, so he's really going to that. Yeah, it's such a tough corner. These cars, they don't have the greatest brakes, and so you're really carrying a lot of speed into that corner. And it's a downhill corner, and these brakes. Now, traditionally, they are supposed to be bigger and better. That is what we're advertised on every NASCAR broadcast I ever hear from Larry McReynolds. But on iRacing, we do not have bigger and better brakes yet. So these cars, they are still a struggle under the braking in these things.
Yeah, and it is a little bit bigger, wider base race car, a little bit heavier than the older Gen 6 car. So you're slowing this bigger race car down. You need bigger, better brakes, but not currently on the iRacing service are the brakes. They're still getting a calibration for how they actually work and how they're actually feeling to the drivers so that they can implement them correctly and not have to do a lot of hot fixes to the braking and how that's done. So they're making sure they get it right in one go. But Shelton is now on his lap through turns 1 and 2, up the S's now.
And we'll catch up with Nicholas Shelton in just a moment. How about Robert Giannini? That is the pronunciation. I have been corrected for his name. Robert Giannini in that Mahindra Tractors number 34 machine. getting going here on his second timed lap.
Yeah, we apologize for the pronunciation in previous broadcasts, but we'll get it right now. But you can see that that number 34 car making its way through the bus stop, headed to the carousel, and he loses the rear. Big hit, too, and that's going to effectively end his time. I don't know if he got a time in.
No, and he won't be.
Yeah, bringing it out a really cool design. I believe this was a similar design that Austin Cindric used on his number 2 car in real life. His was blue and black. This one is orange and black. Still a very, very good looking car tonight in that number 11, and he catches the grass.
Yeah, a little wide there, and I think that's going to do it for him. I think the rest of this is practice. The only other driver out there who has a chance to dethrone Seth Fitzpatrick's time at the top of the timing sheet is Max Service.
Yeah, Max a little bit off of the pace so far.
Actually, we still have, so my apologies, we still have Hertzeg out there. I don't know if Shelton time is going to count. And Andrew St. Cour is also out there. So Max Service to the line. And it'll get him to 5th.
Yeah, good run. It puts him up into the top 5, right behind his teammate Seth Berger. We talked to him before. He's up in 4th right now. Very good pole, or very good qualifying for both.
That's it. Nobody else is going to get lapping. That'll do it. Andrew St. Cour is going to try, but he's going to be one corner too shy.
Yeah, not going to make it.
And
that ends it. So Pratt Talent Stone Award is going to be awarded to Seth Fitzpatrick. The guy that really put on a fight here last season is going to look to get his first win. He has a great shot starting for pole. Congratulations to Seth Fitzpatrick, driver in the number 2 car, on winning this week's Pratt Talent Stone Award, or Pratt Talent Stone Pole Award, excuse me. Pratt Talent Stone serving Central Vermont since 2005.
So I understand there is a little bit of an issue going on. I'll have to tell you, I don't have upload speed right now. So we're trying. We're pumping this out as good as we can, as well as we can. It's gonna get it out as best as we can. But we'll get through our starting lineup here. Number 1, it is Seth Fitzpatrick, Adrian Schumacher. We'll start alongside of him. And can this be the redemption of the battle that Seth Fitzpatrick had last year? He had to go up against a heavyweight like Joseph Chiazzi. Schumacher did not race last season. And or is Schumacher going to be able to get the best of Seth Fitzpatrick? And will Seth Fitzpatrick be bested by another road course heavyweight 2 seasons in a row? We'll have to see what happens off the line. And into row number 2, it'll be the 91 of Jonathan Jennings, the 77 of Seth Berger. Row number 3, it'll be the 81 of Max Service, the 71 of Jeremiah Stutzman. Row number 4, the 67 of Doug Solms, the 12 of Andrew St. Cour. And number 5, it'll be the 56 of Adam Gardner, the 44 of David Molnix. I think those are the last of the times that were even set. But Devin, here are the rest of the grid.
Yep, those are the last of the times that were set. So the rest of this is going to be based off of, I think, possibly I rating. So Nicholas Shelton is going to take the 11th position in row 6. Is outside his teammate Zoltan Hertzeg will be right beside him. Next row number 7, we're going to see Robert Giannini in the 34 car. We talked about him a little bit earlier. To his outside, Devin Smith in the 95. Row number 8 is going to see Marty Phillips in the 99 and Scott Bailey in the number 11. Row number 9 sees James Gilliard in the 33 and John Mickey in the 69. Row number 10 sees Jacob Reeves in the 22 and Brad Bothwell in the 31. I believe we have one more row, and that's it, if I'm correct. That's going to have Matt Rogers and Derek McMurtry there in row number 11. Oh, and then Joshua Strode in 23rd spot in row, 13 or 12, sorry.
So here we are. Looks like, the upload speed has subsided from its fluctuations. So we are rolling now and getting ready to get to the racing action here tonight. The starting lineup is there on the left side of your screen as these drivers get to round a long course. This is 3.45 miles in length. And Well, Devin, tonight we have a 55 lap event. The stages, the top 10 will be awarded stage points at the completion of lap 11 and the completion of lap 22. Let's go ahead and look at the weather because, Devin, I was told, and as you can see, if you can't tell, we are in the morning time in Sim. So, track temp is 85 degrees, and that's going to get hotter as the day goes on. The air temp 78.4 degrees, partially cloudy skies, and the winds fluctuating about 10, now 11 miles an hour out of the northwest. But Devin, a track that starts off cold and gets warmer, it's not what these drivers are normally used to, but how will these drivers have to go about maybe conserving their stuff?
Yeah, as the track gets warmer and these old tires, they're going to start getting really hot. You're going to have to monitor that slipping and sliding through the turns. Really take your time getting off of the turns and not overheating the rear tires. That can really upset the balance of the car and have you spin. Again, this boot section, very narrow. You can see it right there as we're coming through the laces section. Very narrow. Any foot wrong through this section here, you can collect a wall very easily. So you have to be very careful. Don't overheat those tires. So that's what these drivers are going to have to worry about. We did have a similar situation last week at Rockingham, starting in the morning, and the track warmed up over the course of the race, and it threw some drivers off. So we'll have to watch that again. It could throw some of these drivers off with the changes that they are going to be making to their, I believe it's going to be a one-stop race, maybe a two-stop race. But that one pit stop, any changes they make, if they get it wrong, that could really derail the race if it is truly a one-stop race.
Well, that's another thing, Devin. We talk about one stops. If this was the lap length for the cup layout, it's a one stop. But I think because we add an extra mile every lap, this has definitely got to be a two-stop race. Certainly. We'll have to see what these field loads allow these drivers to get to, but I'd imagine we're going to have a stop before the end of stage 2, potentially.
Yeah, quite possibly we could. It's going to be very interesting to see if there is any conservation that happens, but they are coming around the last turn, Emerson.
Here we go. And the field in the hands of the two of Seth Fitzpatrick. We are racing from Watkins, Glen. Oh, we got a car around us in 95, a Devin Smith, who he has gone around in the tow.
Yeah, and that's a dangerous spot too. Guys going to be coming off there. They're getting around so far. Got to light it up and get it going back right. And that wasn't the only incident. There was quite a few. The 44 went around in the was it in the carousel? We call it the carousel. Turn number 5. The 44 went around. Also, our two leaders, Seth Fitzpatrick and Adrian Schumacher, made contact into turn 1. And that has cost Adrian Schumacher the most. He has lost 2 positions back and forth.
Adrian Schumacher back in the 4th position now. He's certainly got the speed to make that up, but certainly that's not going to make him any happier. Looks like there's no damage to his... Oh no, we got a wreck! Robert Giannini!
Giannini around in turn 1. That was a battle going on. They were side by side going into the turn. He's got it back going. Nobody else involved, it looks like. I think his teammate Shelton was also having trouble right in front of him. Oh, the 11's. Yeah, no. Oh, there's a lot of wrecks happening now. The 11's around, the 39 and the 71 around.
Well, we will be able to watch all of them. We'll go from this into that next wreck. There's a wreck with Zoltan Hertzeg and Jeremiah Stetson. Here's what happened in the turn 1 with Robert Giannini. He charges the corner. He just loses it on power.
Yeah. Just lost it trying to stay in front of Max Service and get the pass completed before they get to the S's. We'll follow.
So the 11 had his incident, and then there was an incident with Hertzeg and Stutzman.
Yeah, the 11 was first, I believe, here at the top of the S's.
And he just gets sideways there over the bumps in turn 3.
Oh, that's such a tight spot. But...
And then here we go. Zoltan Hertzeg, and imagine this happens here in the inner loop sideways, and Stutzman, where's he go? Oh, Stutzman tries to miss it.
Right in the wall,
and
head
into
first.
the wall. Now Nicholas Shelton, he was a little slow. I think here into the corner, I think he overdrove it. Went a little wide. He got the spot, and then there was a mistake from Nicholas Shelton here. I don't know if it was into the toe. But there was...
Yeah, overshot the turn here. And he kept it going right. Does look like he lit up the tires a little bit on exit, so they're probably a little warm.
He is now stopped. Nicholas Shelton, I think, is done.
I think he lost in the heel. Yep.
Right here, into the heel. He lights it up.
Yep. So yeah, he lit it up in the toe, getting around that turn, trying to get power out of the turn. Picked it up a little too quickly. You saw the rear end flex a little bit. That means that he spun the rear tires just a hair, but it was enough to light him up when he gets into the heel that the car just does not want to cooperate, and he ends up going all the way around. As we see, Schumacher has made up a position,
He got past
getting by Jennings. Yep, and now he's working over Seth Berger. Fitzpatrick, though, great run so far. Set the fastest lap. He's now 3 seconds in front of this battle.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick, he has done a phenomenal job. He's on a 53.2. Now this lap, we'll see what Adrian Schumacher runs this lap. I wonder if I can pull this up, if this is going to work. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this is traditionally. I mean, this is the qualifying timer, but we're trying to see. Adrian Schumacher's best lap was a 53.9. Trying to see if he can improve upon that lap.
And Doug Solms is around in the toe.
Oh, Doug Solms, who had a great run at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. A home race for the driver hailing from Ontario, Canada, and he went wide in the heel for added detriment. We'll try to see what happened to the 67 of Doug Solms. And again, one of the oldest drivers in the series. It really is remarkable what kind of a performance he was able to put on up into the podium at points in that race of Canadian 10. It's Adam Gardner who had a mistake off the corner, and then Solms got into power too soon. And everybody else was able to get back going.
That's great.
Sure.
That's so hard to do right there, keeping it off the wall. It's so narrow. I mentioned it before, that the narrowness of that section, any mistake you're going to be in the wall, but he was able to prove me wrong and keep it out of there. And Schumacher is past Berger.
Good eye there. Adrian Schumacher has gotten by Seth Berger, and they are teammates. So that might... Oh, Schumacher's gone wide, and he's into the barrier! And that might end his competitive evening. As far as potentially winning tonight, Doug Solms has now lost more spots, working his way down the running order. Adrian Schumacher, though, he's still in the 4th position. Try to see how damaged that car is.
Yeah, that was a massive lockup, and you mentioned it, that could be a big problem area, turn number 6. And Schumacher proves us right, having a moment there. A lot of damage on the right-hand front of that race car. we're trying to see if he's lost quite a bit of speed. He hit it really hard, so I imagine there is something not quite right with the car. Handling could be off just a bit, but in the
Adam
hands
Gardner's
of
gone
Schumacher.
around in the heel.
Oh no! Yep, and that section again proving very difficult.
So we'll try to see what happens to Adrian Schumacher. See, we'll give it a go here to see if he can chase down the drivers up ahead. He is 6.7 seconds back of race leader Seth Fitzpatrick, and he's losing time there. 6.9 as he goes up the hill, 7 seconds. So I think his bid to win might be over without a full course yellow. But we'll see if he has anything for the two ahead of him. Brad Bothwell is coming down the pit lane. This would be the second retiree for B&G Motorsports if he is, in fact, done. There's no damage on the car, though.
I'm not sure, but he is stopping. I have seen it before where you come off. He's taking tires and everything,
He
but
might be working this race backwards.
he could be. He very well could be. Maybe that's just how close they were. Maybe 5 laps is enough to put you over it on the 2-stop strategy. He's taking damage too, it looks like, I guess.
I can't see any damage from this camera angle. We'll see if there was one any later. Now Seth Berger is under attack from Jonathan Jennings. And Berger a little wide through the... Is that the heel? That is the heel. Up the hill now. Looking back through turn 9 at Jonathan Jennings.
Yeah, Jennings was able to really catch up to Seth Berger in that boot section. Looks like Berger a lot more comfortable on the normal Watkins Glen corners. He talked about it in his interview pre-race. Very familiar with the track from another series, running there previously, and got a lot of good practice in. Was very competitive in that race, but this boot section again, he's just not normal normal NASCAR drivers. Not too familiar with that section. And it is a very much more technical than the rest of the Watkins Glen track. So it does take a little bit of learning to get it, but that's where we see Jennings really catch up to Seth Berger, is in that section. Also right here under braking.
Look at that,
late
under braking. And so Seth was asking me before the race, what do I run my brake bias at? And I said, these cars really, really struggle under braking. You really need to perfect that. And I'm not going to say, my exact words to him because I'm not going to give away that number on broadcast. But I got to say, you have to nail that number nonetheless. And you just saw there, Jennings just was able to, he didn't get by Berger yet, but he really closed the gap under braking. Now, you saw that there clearly was one driver who was more braver on the brakes into the bus stop. And Jennings, he might have a run here into the heel.
He looks to the inside.
Yep. And he's not going to say he's not close enough. I do want to say, out of the top 4, Seth Berger was the slowest lap time last lap. Fitzpatrick's actually didn't register, so I can't confirm what Fitzpatrick's time was. But Jennings was over half a second faster than Seth. And Schumacher was even 0.2 faster than Seth last time around. This time at the start-finish line.
Jennings ran a 1:53.7 last lap.
Fitzpatrick just ran a 54.1. Berger a 55.2. Jennings a 55.3. And Schumacher a 54.6.
Yeah, so not a lot of speed lost out of that 82 machine. He's actually joining in this battle as we see them almost side by side going through the S's. That's a difficult place to pass.
Absolutely.
Right there. You really want to set up this exit. It does look like Jennings possibly can get it set up.
Watch
we
this
see a dive
zone
here.
So he breaks at the first brake marker because you're able to go a little deeper in real life into this corner. And actually, Seth drove through there a lot harder. I feel like Seth maybe understood that there was some time to be gained there. Or maybe he just missed his original braking point last time.
Well, anyway, Seth will learn from that. He'll be like, "Oh, I can break there and make it. Okay, I'm a lot better now."
Oh,
But
he's gone
right
a little
here, this
wide.
is-
He's missed the apex of the
Yeah.
laces.
He's done that quite a few laps now, and that's where Jennings makes up all of his time, is right through this section. Jennings so good through this boot section, really getting down, running the same line through the toe. Very good toe for both drivers. But that 82 right on their bumper now, so if Jennings wants to get this move done, he needs to do it quick.
Seth continues to just slightly miss these apexes, which is allowing Jennings to stay with and size him up, really. Not able to find a way around just yet. He's doing a great job of making the car as wide as possible. But this is also basically allowing Fitzpatrick to run away as, well, again, Seth was faster last lap, but Adrian is now caught behind this battle, and I wonder how aggressive Adrian will be to try to get around Jennings.
Yeah, we'll find out here into turn one of the best passing zones on this track. Turn number one. If you want to get it done, this is a good spot to do it. I don't think anybody's going to send it here. Everybody's a little too far away from each other.
Adrian getting all that curbing. And with this repave here at Watkins Glen, track limits was a point of discussion coming to this venue. And we've learned that you can really, I mean, they are really gracious with track limits at some points on this track. I mean, it is something else. You can go pretty much up to, just not more. You can go 2 tires and over half the car over that white line at some point of the track. You cannot go 4 tires over. That will be a 1x or an incident point. Now, if you don't care about incident points, well, I mean, by all means, go for it. I don't believe there's an incident point limit. But if you were talking about valid lap times and overall just trying to keep it clean, keep it on the racing surface, iRacing dictates the racing surface very generously at points of the track.
Yeah, they do, but it does provide for some great racing, and you really can pick up the exit of these corners a lot better. A lot more in terms with real life and how it works there. Seth Berger, though, I'm noticing as each lap he runs, he gets a little bit better and a little bit better, able to keep that 91 behind him.
Only half a tenth slower, which is pretty marginal at a track this long, only half a tenth.
Yeah, and so Seth's learning lap by lap. The more laps he gets, the better he's going to be. So I think Jennings' window, unless Seth does make a mistake, Jennings' window may be closing to get that second place.
Has
at
Jennings
this point in time.
pushed too hard?
That could also be a factor if he's pushed too hard to try and catch up and not complete the pass. But he does have company behind him. Adrian Schumacher sitting back there, kind of sizing him up, waiting to see what move Jennings is going to do, if any, and also try to make a move of his own.
Seth Fitzpatrick, he is long and far away. There's a left side damage to that too, Carvo.
There is. It does. I think that was from the lap 1, turn 1 incident with Adrian Schumacher. I think that's where he got that damage. He locked up into turn number 1. Him and the 82 came together on the apex of that turn, and that's what kind of got Adrian out of shape.
It didn't look like Adrian got any damage from that incident, though.
Maybe not. Maybe he did get it from somewhere else, but if he did, it's not impacting his time at all.
Absolutely
Still
not.
running the fastest laps of the race.
Jennings.
The fastest lap on the race.
Oh, Seth has had a mistake. They're going side by side into the toe. Jennings going to try to get the crossover done. Seth made that car as wide as possible, though. Jennings, now he's got to run down the hill.
And another good ample passing zone on this track. The heel. This is a good spot to get the
Seth
pass
outbreaks
done.
him.
Seth,
Look at those brake rotors glow.
Almost missed the turn. He used every bit of the runoff, that curbing on the runoff of the track to keep in front of Jonathan Jennings. A great defense here from the 77.
Brilliant stuff. You saw there from that camera shot, I don't know if you noticed it, Devin, how red hot Jennings' brake rotor was, trying to not, outbrake himself and, get into Seth.
Yeah, definitely using all the track here, but here they're very close right here coming down to turn one. Jonathan Jennings, will he send it to the inside of Seth Berger? He does. He sends it down to the inside, not quite there. Seth Berger able to maintain the speed through the center of the turn and gets another good exit. Jennings still right on his tail though.
What's crazy is this is morning time, and you can distinctly see the red brake rotors. It is nutty how much they're on the brakes, how hot these brakes are getting, and how well the sim details that.
Yeah, very much so. You get
Oh,
to see,
some grass
that's
for
a big
Seth.
mistake.
He's gonna go wide here. This could be huge. Jennings could eat him up here.
Luckily, this is a pretty fast turn right here that he's able to pick up speed in. However, this next turn could be the deciding factor. Turn number 6, they come in. Seth runs a little low, gets down to the apex. Jennings tries to get the run off the turn, and instead he backs himself up into Adrian Schumacher just a bit.
Schumacher now 10.8 seconds back, just realizing that his chances to win is effectively gone the longer he sits behind these two battling. But it's his own real fault. It's his own mistake for ending up back behind these two.
It is, but he is trying to make up the position and at least come out of here with a second place finish, podium finish. However, with the battle that's in front of him, it's hard to pick your spots. You can't really do a dive bomb if the 91's trying to do a dive onto Seth, with Seth putting up such a great defense as well. It's pretty much going to come down to who makes a mistake first for this 82 car. He's going to sit back here, bide his time, let these two figure it out. And then if either one of them makes a mistake like that, Jonathan Jennings, a mistake off of the final turn, not able to get the power up, and Schumacher goes by.
Schumacher powers on by it. Oh, there is some right side damage to Schumacher's car. So I guess that is where Fitzpatrick. Wait, no, never mind. I guess that was the wall. I didn't think about that. Looks like he had a mistake. Marty Phillips is a slow up the hill. I guess he had a mistake in the heel. We continue on. Stutzman, his car has seen better days.
Yeah, he went nose first into the exit of the bus stop.
And he's still ninth.
Trying to avoid. And he's still ninth, yeah. Still speed in that car. 5 seconds in front of Reeves as we see another pit stop here.
Daniel Monix coming down the pit lane.
This is 11 laps in. I'm not sure what the stages are, but we should be getting close to
you know what? We are coming to the end of stage 1 here. Thanks for reminding me. This is Seth Fitzpatrick. He's in the final 4 corners of this stage.
Oh, big incident. I don't know what number of that car that is. It's the natural light car. Doesn't have a number on it, but man, that was a big hit to whoever that car is.
I don't see anything lighting up on timing and scoring. If you can get me that card number. In the meanwhile, Seth Fitzpatrick comes to the final corner and handily will win stage 1 by 9.5 seconds. Here's the battle for second, though. Berger through turn 11. Schumacher, does he have anything? He's going to try, but Seth Berger will finish second in stage 2. It is Schumacher third, Jennings fourth. Zoltan Hertzeg is right now the only driver around in 5th. The battle rages on here between Stutzman and Gilliard. So Hertzeg will finish in 5th. Max Service should handily finish this in 6th. This is the battle here.
7, Stutzman with the damaged race car. The 33 of James Gilliard also finding some off-track excursions. Big battle here for it. Can Stutzman get off the corner? I don't think he will. And it looks like Gilliard's going to maintain his 7th place position. Stutzman in 8th, and then Gianni right behind him. And Stutzman lets Gianni by.
I think he wanted the stage points, and then he let him by. So Reeves finishes 10th, and I'm looking out through the rest of the cars, seeing if any of these guys have damage.
It's the 84, McMurtry. McMurtry was the natural light car.
Oh my goodness, there. Car has seen better days. Well, we are gonna go try to find it. So this is just after it happened, so we are close to getting it queued up for y'all.
Yeah, I believe it happened on the next to last lap of the stage.
It was at the beginning of the final lap, actually, here in the turn one.
Beginning final, that's it.
So here it is.
Hit that curb and just upset the balance of the car.
Oh,
huge hit.
Nearly getting into Matt Rogers.
Almost got Rogers with him.
Good eye there,
big
Devin.
Hit. Big hit. Yeah, I'm trying to catch all the wrecks for these guys. I want to get them their moments, even if it isn't in the best conditions. But still, you know, we want to highlight all the incidents because there are no cautions. There are corner cautions, so yellow flags will wave in the sector where the caution is, where a car has spun.
So there are full course yellows, but it has to be an incident large enough. Yes, 3 cars is the minimum for a full course caution to be brought out, according to Adam Gardner. And but that's just been the standard in in this kind of bunch of leagues that we've had on console. I know that back even on NASCAR 15 we used that rule. We wouldn't bring out cautions at road courses because the pace laps are so long unless there's a multi-car accident of 3 cars or more. I know this league did it back on the consoles as well. It was just a smarter rule. Keep the race moving at a long track. You don't need, you know, to bring out a caution for every 2-car incident.
Right, and of course with the sim, you know, it makes it a lot easier. Real life, of course, they will throw the caution because there's safety concerns, debris concerns. So on the sim, though, there are none of those concerns. These guys are safely in their respective sim rigs, and where they can continue on if the car gets destroyed. But Jennings working over Seth Berger again, looks to the inside into the hill, not close enough again is the 91 on the 77. He gets a good run out of the hill, though, looking to possibly do a crossover. Maybe trying to get an exit here in turn 9. A very good exit. But the 77 gets an equally good exit, and he's not going to be able to get the job done just yet.
I can't believe that Adrian Schumacher got by both of these guys, and Jennings is still behind Seth. And this is something else. Seth has done a brilliant defense to keep Jennings behind him. Schumacher, he's bringing that gap down. Schumacher ran over half a second faster, nearly 7/10 faster than Fitzpatrick last lap.
And Schumacher may be just playing the long game here, knowing that he can get the speed out of this car still, even with the damage that it has. And he's half a second faster than our leader, Seth Fitzpatrick.
Oh my goodness, if he can maintain that kind of an advantage, if he can nail his strategy, this race is not over, and we've had an incident. Marty Phillips is in the wall.
Normally you don't see a lot of cars go off at turn 9 unless they kind of were upset out of the hill and we're just trying to hang on for it. And then when they get to turn 9, ultimately it goes around.
We have it here. Just a little too much speed. Missed the apex of the corner.
Just too much speed getting in.
Yeah. That does it.
Yeah, it's like some of these turns in the boot section, again, we talked about it in the opener. We've talked about it throughout the race so far. They are very deceptive. You feel like you can pick...
Oh, Adam Gardner spinning right in front of the leader!
Oh!
Oh my goodness. There's Schumacher. All right, here comes Schumacher. Oh my goodness.
He's back going straight, but wow, that was heart-stopping for the leader. I'm sure Seth Fitzpatrick seeing Adam Gardner go around right in front of him. And again, that was another turn 9 incident.
Yeah, he got him to power a little too soon. Adam Gardner did. So right there, Fitzpatrick ran a 54.798. Adrian Schumacher ran over 8/10 faster, 53.963.
Yeah, and we're going to see that gap start coming down quite a bit now. It looks like, but just to touch on it again, that boot section, we mentioned it. You can really feel like these turns in the boot can be taken a lot faster than they actually can. And so if you misjudge it just a little bit, you have incidents like that. Turn number 9, you feel like you could take that turn so fast, but there just is not enough runoff on the exit, and the wall is very close, so it's easy to hit that wall. Also, the heel and the toe, again, very deceptive turns. It feels like you can get on the gas so much sooner than you actually can, and that'll light up the rear tires and have incidents like we saw with Nicholas Shelton and others so far going around in those turns.
I am absolutely... I'm impressed. Jeremiah Stutzman, who's still well inside the top 10 with this destroyed machine.
Yeah, currently sitting in 9th, a good almost 10 seconds in front of Jacob Reeves in the 22 with the what can be effectively called a Willem modified
Absolutely.
almost front end there on the 71. But he is keeping pace with James Gilliard in front of him, too. It's not a lot of time lost between the guys in front of him that are just in front of him, Giannini and Gilliard. He's staying right with them.
I know Gilliard had his moment in the barrier as well, but not to the extent that Stutzman had his contact with the barrier. So this is something else. I know Stutzman qualified 5th, but I think with that car, if he can hold out right here, even not even if he can get around a Gilliard, that's even better. But if he just holds out right here, that's gonna be a phenomenal finish for him with that thing.
I'm sure he'll accept it with what's happened so far.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no way to deny that coming out with a top 10 with a destroyed race car is going to be a win for Jeremiah Stutzman, and he's sitting really good in the points. So just another decent points finish is all he needs to maintain that gap back to the bubble line. But now we're riding along back with Adrian Schumacher, watching him go through the bus stop and the carousel. He is knocking the seconds down, but Seth Fitzpatrick has turned up the heat a little bit.
Yep.
He was 5/10 of a second faster, 5/10 of a second faster than Schumacher on the last lap.
So Fitzpatrick did get faster, but Schumacher got significantly slower. I feel like there was a slight mistake, maybe a missed apex at some point for Schumacher. Because I don't know if there's, well, I can't really tell if there's added damage to that car, but looks like the car from where it was a couple laps ago is fine. So I guess he's going to be on the trek to try to close that gap down again. What's also going to help is nailing the pit lap, nailing pit entry, and not speeding, of course. As we saw, Kazi nearly gave this race away last season by speeding.
Right, and that's the last thing you want to do is have a pit road penalty cost you a chance at winning this race. We're going to see Fitzpatrick come off for the last turn. He's going to take his this will be completing lap number 16, going on the lap number 17. And he goes into turn 1 with Doug Solms right in front of him. Solms is going to let him go by.
Yep. Doug Solms, man, I mean, I know not every race is gonna be, you know, one that goes your way, but I really was hoping Solms was gonna get himself a good run tonight after what we saw at Canadian Tire and him getting faster just week after week, and unfortunately just got into some trouble early.
Yeah, and it looks like he's not been able to recover from that. It looks like a lot of right-hand side damage, similar to that of Schumacher almost, but maybe just a little bit more. It does look like that wheel, that right front wheel is just a bit out of alignment, so that could really be throwing off the handling of that 67.
We got a battle. This is Scott Bailey on Jacob Reeves.
This will be for the 11th position. John Mickey just in front of these two in the 10th position, so effectively this is going to be to get into the top 10, and Jacob Reeves lets him go by, it looks like, or at least missed up the turn.
Mickey's on the pit lane.
Yeah, Mickey in to take his stop.
So, as Mickey stops it in the box. Oh, still. There he goes.
Stopped a little too early. Had to creep up a little bit.
Drivers out of the race. Devin Smith Nicholas Shelton, Brad Bothwell, Marty Phillips. Adam Gardner is the last car running, 2 laps down in 18th. Doug Solms is the first car 1 lap down. The only car 1 lap down in 17th. And now John Mickey, is now the other car 1 lap down as Fitzpatrick just passed.
Yeah, John Mickey on pit road goes a lap down, but Adrian Schumacher back trying to keep touching it. These times are really close. Last lap they were pretty much identical.
Almost identical.
Almost identical between the 2 leaders. So Fitzpatrick has seen that gap close and knows he needs to pick it back up. Was kind of taking it easy there possibly for a little bit.
Solms just give Adrian the preferred line into the corner. Gonna be tough. Adrian just so tidy through the bus stop. It's so difficult to be that perfect every lap in the bus stop. And I mean that was a beautiful line through there. He used every bit of the curb, didn't clip any grass. He's just on it.
Yeah, it looks like the only thing that caught him out
Max
was this
Service
turn.
is on pit lane. Okay, so 55 divided by 3. It's going to be 18 and some change. So this is a Max Service confirming he's on a 2-stop strategy.
And I think that's going to be the way to go with how the tires are going to fall off, how the track's going to change. You can get a couple of adjustments in this way, really make the car the way you want it and make it better. Knowing what you have and knowing that the temperature is rising up, speaking of, it has risen up already 6 degrees from when we started this race. Only 18 laps in, so... Yeah, 91 degrees on the track. The wind stayed about the same, about 11 to 10 miles an hour. But yeah, the air temperature slowly rising up, the track temperature slowly rising up. And that's only going to make this track more treacherous, especially through that boot section. You do not want to light up the rear tires.
Fitzpatrick, a 55.6. Schumacher, a 54.9.
Chopping away again is Schumacher, maintaining consistency. He's been in those 54s for quite a while. Fitzpatrick a little bit off again on that lap, but still maintaining almost a 7-second lead. It's still coming down, but this is another close battle on the track here again. Stutzman, Gilliard, and Giannini in 6th, 7th, and 8th place, trying to fight. Giannini got by both of these guys earlier, and now these 2 are fighting back, trying to stay with the 34 and possibly get by him if they can here, but they're going to be taking pit stops before long, I do believe.
And it's so here comes Giannini. I was going to say, it's so hard to tell when they're pitting and when they're not through that final corner, because that pit entry line, that is also the racing line through that corner.
It is right through the apex area there, but it's and also the pickup point to kind of get onto pit road as fast as you can, and also to get down the straightaway. That pickup point is very similar as well, just you can't stay on it as much, but very hard to tell who's pitting, who's not. These drivers who are close together like that, possibly calling out to each other through the in-game chat, letting each other know they are pitting, so they can stay out of each other's way and not cause an incident in the last corner.
So Robert Giannini is down and away. I will get it. That's the last lap. Fitzpatrick ran faster, and this lap as well, Fitzpatrick ran faster than Schumacher. So it might be time for Schumacher to come and get freshies if he's going to continue his march.
Yeah, possibly can try to do an undercut, take off a couple of seconds on the undercut, and hopefully he can hang on to the tires throughout the next run. But yeah, I mean, are these guys trying to stretch it as long as they can? They're going to be very close if they can go another 7 or 8
they got to
laps.
get to 27, 28 to be in the realm of making a one-stop.
I'm just not sure that's possible with the boot addition. If it was just the normal Watkins Glen normal Watkins Glen track, I would say that is possible. But tonight I'm not sure if it's going to be with boot section, that extra mile
Hertzog
added
is
on.
in. Another driver who has made the decision to come in early. He was running 5th, so he comes out behind Gilliard and Stutzman, who have yet to pit. And the gap I guess we should be looking at is how far. Oh my goodness, Hertzog is way ahead of Max Service. Those are the drivers closest to battling for position. Not the closest, but those are drivers 5th and 6th before pit stops. Hertzog and Service.
And Hertzog easily clearing Jeremiah Stutzman there. Now he has his sights set on James Gilliard just down the road. Through the bus stop they go, and those brand new fresh tires really helping him get off the turns a lot better than the old tires. Again, once you get these tires lit up, you have to be so careful on exit not to light them up even more. It's very easy to spin the car when these tires are worn out. So carefulness is key as we are checking in on the leaders. The 2 car we checked in there, he's going through the S's. Schumacher now entering the S's down at the bottom of the hill, working his way up to the top of the hill, and slowly but surely knocking off more time. Almost an entire second faster last lap was Adrian Schumacher.
So maybe he lit up the tires a little bit, had to cool them off a couple laps, and he's back on it again. They're a little temperature game, or we're getting ready to see a pit stop, and he might be pushing really hard to get the most out of his tires.
Yeah, this could be a couple of push laps at the end of his run, trying to get as much out of that race car as he can before he brings it in for new fresh rubber. Or he hit his, if they're going fuel strategy, maybe he hit his fuel number, and now he can really push here and try and knock off some time. It's going to be interesting to see.
Pass for position, Molnix and Gianni go by Matt Rogers. Rogers hasn't pitted. Molnix and Gianni they have, and this is a battle for position.
Yeah, this is lock up there from the 44 car just in front of Giannini. Also a lock up from the 96. But yeah, Giannini working over the rear end of the 44 of Molnix, trying to get by.
Lap. Fitzpatrick's about to lap these guys. He has not pitted, in fairness. But
lock up again from the 96 in the last corner.
For this lap, Seth Fitzpatrick will run a 154.783. Adrian Schumacher will come across the line, and he's slower. 155.060. The lap time for V82 car.
Yeah, so one lap Schumacher's faster, one lap Fitzpatrick's faster. It'd be amazing to see if these guys are actually battling each other on the track, what they could do. We were kind of deprived of that because of the incident that Schumacher had at the beginning of the race. However, he is catching so slowly, or very slowly. He may be able to make up that time before the end of the race. However, these pit stops are going to be key.
Absolutely. It all depends on how well he makes his pit stop cycle. If something happened, Fitzpatrick had to work by the lap car. Matt Rogers, well, he was on the lead lap, and so
Rogers.
Adrian got a lot of time.
Yeah, Rogers made. He locked up the tires again. He's locking up in every turn, it seems like. But through the bus stop, he locked up, stayed to the inside through the carousel turn, made Seth Fitzpatrick have to go around the outside. And that really set Fitzpatrick's car offline. He had to readjust and lost about a second in all of that readjustment. But Matt Rogers really struggling with the brake bias of the car. You see he's really slow here, and Seth Fitzpatrick had to slow way down to avoid hitting him. And then Rogers stays to the inside and makes Fitzpatrick have to readjust to go around the outside.
Wow. Big moment in the race. What could have been. Good thing Fitzpatrick kept a clear head on his shoulders. Understood he had a large margin. He just backed off, worked his way back around the 96.
And as the leader, sometimes things like that can frustrate you, but with the lead he has, You do have to keep your head down, keep your head in the game. You are still running very fast lap times. That lap time, however, was impacted by
Yeah, we won't count
that,
that one. But
we won't count that one. But it's still, you got to keep your head down here. You are still 5 seconds up the road. Plenty of gap still as you're trying to complete this race. They're on lap 23 now. I imagine they have to be trying to get this fuel strategy to work.
I guess that is the play. I'm starting to see here. I just don't know. I don't know.
I haven't seen the top 4 pit. Also, James Gilliard, Jeremiah Stutzman, Scott Bailey, and Jacob Reeves also all staying out. They are still on track, have not come down pit road yet. Matt Rogers and Derek Murchie also have yet to pit.
Didn't even mention, but Seth Fitzpatrick did win stage 2 via the completion of lap 22. Adrian Schumacher, Seth Berger, Jonathan Jennings. So that's all happened. Maybe now.
Oh, maybe that was the. Maybe that's what happened here. Gil might get stage points, then come in.
Sure. So Fitzpatrick wins the stage. Schumacher, Seth Berger, Jonathan Jennings, Zoltan Herczeg, Gilliard over Stutzman, Bailey, Reeves, and did Service get there in time? Actually, yeah, Service was ahead of Giannini. Service almost got to Jacob Reeves, but did not. Until now. Fitzpatrick, well, he stays out. Is this Adrian Schumacher coming in? No, it's not.
All right, now it's got to be.
Now it has to be. Absolutely.
Now it has to be. Okay, I'm trying for this fuel strategy now. Only 3 laps to possibly get it done. 3 to 4 laps to possibly get this thing done and make it all the way on one stop.
If they make it to 27, that is gonna be you're gonna have to run 28 in the second stint. You're gonna have to run a lap longer and to save a lot more in that second stint.
Yeah, imagine you want to do the 28 lap stint on this first one to make sure that you definitely can make it on the next stint. So we'll have to see. I mean, it's going to be so close now at this point. You almost have made your bed that you're going to be trying for it. However, the gap is big. 23 seconds back to Seth Berger in the 77. So there is a big gap. Pit road, coming down pit road here. We always talk about that, especially in racing like F1. They talk about how the pit cycle is about 20 to 22 seconds. In the NextGen cars here, the NASCARs, that pit cycle is about 45 seconds. So that is the kind of where you're looking at as far as a gap that you need to have to the cars behind to come out in front of them. So about 40 to 45 seconds is typically the gap in a NextGen car. So that is the magic number that we're looking at. So if he came in, Seth Fitzpatrick, right now, I mean, it could be a little bit closer to 20 or to 30 seconds. So maybe he would come out right behind Jennings if he pitted now.
You think Core? Oh my goodness! Did he find a tire barrier in turn 1?
That's a lot of damage to the front end of that 12 car. Not as bad as Jeremiah.
Oh no!
But
we're gonna ride on board for this one. And this is Andrew St. Core. Late on the brakes.
Oh yeah, that's way too late. Way too late.
They tried to.
Ooh, big hit too.
Might have lost focus or was distracted in some capacity. That was a huge hit. I wouldn't.
Gilliard in the barrier and spins across the track.
2 leaders are in the pit lane, though.
Oh, Soames. And
Fitzpatrick's down and away. Schumacher's down and away. Now we'll go catch up with Gilliard. Seth Berger is your race leader. Now, look at the lap that they just pitted. That was lap 25. They're not going to be able to make it.
They're not going to make it.
So they're going to have to come in for a splash. Here's the replay, what Devin was talking about, of Gilliard and Stutzman. This is into the laces. A little too much speed for Gilliard.
That's what we
Oh
saw
my
Adrian Schumacher do, but a
goodness.
bigger hit.
And spins back across. Hold the brake, hold the brake. Okay. Yeah, I think he had time to. Yeah, he definitely had time
He
to
had
do
time.
that. Okay.
He did have time to get that move done. It just on the angle that I saw it, it seemed like Solms was coming a lot faster than he actually was.
So, I think that
Schumacher loops it.
Adrian Schumacher has looped it onto fresh tires in the laces. And oh my goodness, near contact there for McMurtry, and that might settle it for Schumacher unless Fitzpatrick has a mistake. Seth Berger is the race leader now.
And Seth, is he trying to make it here or just trying to get bonus points for leading a lap?
It's coming in here.
He's coming in here, yeah.
Is Jennings going to try? We'll see what Jennings does. Off the final corner, Jennings stays out.
And who's going to get to the line first?
Well, Jennings will get the lap.
So I'm not sure. I think Seth was trying to stay out to possibly get the lap lead. And Jennings takes the lap lead away from him.
Yeah, don't even think he got it. Yeah, you're right. Now Adrian Schumacher. Oh, no. Still on the track, and Schumacher might be done.
That was a big hit, too.
Let's try to see if we can go back and see what happened for Adrian Schumacher. Go back a little ways. Oh, he had another spin. So, a lot going on here. This is Adrian Schumacher. Cold tires. Went through the inner loop. Now the carousel, or the outer loop as they call it. And Adam Gardner. Gardner gives way.
This turn right here, the laces turn, has gotten him so many times.
A little too much speed. Just loops it.
I think that was the first incident. Yep, that was the first incident there.
Yeah, we didn't see the full incident there. So the second incident, that happens either in the heel or in turn 10. We'll get to see that.
So yeah, he's lit up the tires. They're extremely hot right now after spinning out.
And definitely frustrated. He had what was a 5-second deficit to Seth Fitzpatrick is now a 20-second deficit. I mean, this happens in turn 10. Gardner has an off there on the inside of turn 8. Turn 9, a slow corner.
You can see he's running really slow through these turns. He's trying to cool down the tires, take it easy.
Turn 10, a little too much speed.
And yeah. That's so frustrating when you make a mistake and then you compound it with another mistake. It's just so frustrating.
And he just got fresh tires too, so and he's gonna have to run the entire stint on those tires pretty much.
Or he might try to come in early here.
Jennings is in. So that is lap 27. Will Jennings be able to do it? Will he have enough gap? Because if he's going to save fuel, he's also got to stay ahead of Fitzpatrick. Or his goal might not be to win, it might just be podium.
And Jeremiah Stutzman is the only car left. Or sorry, there's 2 cars left who have not pit. Derek McMurtry and Jeremiah Stutzman. Jeremiah Stutzman has yet to pit. He is coming to complete lap 27 now, still on the racetrack. This is lap 28, Emerson. I think that the 71 can make it. Oh, the 91's around.
This is lap 27. Jonathan Jennings is around top of the hill. That is late on the straightaway for Jennings. Late spin. Let's see.
I think he kept it off the wall.
Yep, cold tire. I mean, he's just coming off the pit lane right here. He gets around the 56 of Adam Gardner, and here's Jennings. Cold tires right away. And
flip the curb at all. No, it doesn't
Nope.
flip the curb. Just looped it.
It's not warm yet.
Oh, slide. Keep it off the wall. Wow. Great save.
Seth Berger has had a
Seth
moment.
Berger's around.
We'll see this. We'll keep it on this replay.
Yeah, Seth Berger in the heel.
So here it comes through the laces, down to the toe. Seth Berger's fallen back to the clutches of Zoltan Herczeg.
Yeah, here we're coming up to the heel. He's got a lap car in front of him. He takes a different line, a much shallower line into the turn, and just overshot it. He just overshot the turn.
Corner.
Yep.
Oh, Matt Rogers.
Matt Rogers has had so many close calls
Did he
tonight.
get into him?
I think so. There's damage.
Yeah. And
here's,
Zoltan Herczeg
Herczeg.
right behind. Jeremiah Stutzman, he has stayed
That's
out
the pit.
again. Nope, he's in. He's in now.
Yeah,
My
I
fault.
think he's in. So this is the fuel strat call for Jeremiah Stutzman. I don't think that it's going to allow him to possibly win this race on this fuel strategy call.
No, this is just to gain whatever spots he can at this point. What has been a tough day for him.
Yeah, but just to make it this far,
Sure.
very, very good fuel strategy call. But this is a driver that we see these off the wall fuel strategy calls perfected to. Jeremiah Stutzman, the master of this, where he stays out so much longer and saves so much more fuel than other drivers.
You know what? With how long the lap is, even though how far he was behind the leader was a significant distance, he still stays on the lead lap. So that plays to his hand a lot.
The last car on the lead lap.
Now everybody on the lead lap has come down pit lane. Derek McMurtry has yet to pit. According to timing and scoring.
96 again, locking up through turn number 9. You can see the brake the tire smoke coming off of that 96 car right in front of McMurtry there.
So, Seth Fitzpatrick is the race leader. 19.6 seconds out in front of Adrian Schumacher. And it's a lofty goal. If Adrian's gonna close that gap, he's gonna need some external help in that regard.
Yeah, he put in a very fast lap, almost a second faster than Seth Fitzpatrick on the last lap, but
He's gonna have to
I'm
run
not
that
sure.
every single lap to the end to have a chance.
Yeah.
He's gonna run a second faster than Fitzpatrick every lap.
and you can see he's throwing the car into the corners still.
It's plausible, but it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, he's going to have to be pretty much absolutely perfect from here on out as we ride along with the 34 car working over Max Service in the 81.
And Giannini has one lap fresher tires than Max Service.
And slowly but surely, Giannini has kind of made his way through the field after starting a little bit further back, having run into issues during qualifying, just picking drivers off one at a time, slowly making his way up. This is going to be for the 6th place if he can get this position done.
Both drivers make it through the bus stop, no problem. Max misses the apex a little bit, but Giannini follows. Actually, that might have been Max's line to diamond the carousel a little bit. I haven't even thought about that. Diamonding the carousel on the boot layout.
Yeah, it might be some leftover of
Rockingham?
running the boot. Yeah, for how I run Rockingham, how we normally run the carousel here at Watkins Glen. Just
That too, yeah.
Just comfort level of how to run that turn.
It might be worth something. If I ran more laps, I only ran like 5 or 6 laps around here just to get a lap time and a feel for the track. I ran some laps here. That might have been something.
quite possibly. I didn't when I ran laps here. I don't. I typically do not dime in that turn. I tend to enter. Kind of how Schumacher was talking, entering it a little bit higher, and letting the car naturally just come down the track to apex the turn late, and then come off with a lot of speed onto that runoff area.
This is now a 3-car battle for 6th, as Daniel Molnix has joined the battle.
Yeah, Molnix was right in front of Giannini just a couple of laps ago. Giannini able to get that pass completed.
Oh, Giannini close on Max. Oh. Giannini had to swerve to avoid Max under braking. Not that Max did anything wrong, but the closing rate was so high that he had to maneuver his car out of the way.
Yeah, I don't think that he expected that it was going to be that much of a difference in braking points, but that's just the way it is at these road courses. Different braking points at different spots on the track. We saw that kind of between Jonathan Jennings and Seth Berger, where Jennings, especially in this bus stop section that Giannini and Service and Molnix are going through right now, and the carousel, Jonathan Jennings getting into the bus stop so much deeper than Seth Berger, but Seth Berger a lot faster off of the exit of the turn. So yeah, just a different driving style, but man, what a great run for the 34 off through the laces.
Into the toe, still single file. Max on that inner line. He misses that apex. Here comes Giannini off the corner, side by side.
And a great job, great position for Giannini to get this position taken. He sends it in, late braking on the 34.
Max
late braking on the 81. And I think the 81 tried to outbrake him just a bit and outbroke himself. He has to give way for both positions now as they go through turn number 9. But yeah, I think both of them are trying to outbrake each other, and the 81 loses out.
Daniel Molnix gains a spot out of that. Molnix now looks to size up Giannini. And Daniel Molnix want to check in on his tire life. His tires are old. 19
yeah, he was one of the first drivers to come into pit.
He is, according to time scoring, he is the first driver to come into pit. 10 laps before anyone else.
This is true.
I'm sorry. 7 laps before anyone else.
Yeah, so he'll be one of the first ones to come down pit road again to get fresh tires to the end of the race. 20 laps to go. Or sorry, 25 laps to go now.
That actually should be... That point should be coming quickly for Molnix. With that being said, the second round of pit stops for those who are making a 2-stop race is going to start soon. So we're going to take a quick moment and go side by side here from Watkins Glen International. Don't you go anywhere.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of 2 products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Watkins, Glen, New York. We are now into the second half, of today's race. It is Seth Fitzpatrick of a 19.8 second advantage over Adrian Schumacher. Just came across your screen right there. We are getting ready for our second round of pit stops for those who chose to make a two-stop strategy in this race. Seth Fitzpatrick. He is put on a clinic tonight, and almost, I mean, now don't get me wrong, he's definitely got the pace to do so, but the gap he has is almost little because of himself. Well, himself for keeping it clean, but it's Schumacher been making several mistakes.
Yeah, Schumacher's running into some trouble on fresh tires. It seems like lap 2 gets into the laces turn a little too hot, turn number 6, and hits the wall. And then again, on fresh rubber, he does the exact same thing in the exact same turn. And
Monix
is around. Same thing. Monix just came in and got fresh tires, on fresh tires, new rubber.
Yep.
He loses it.
And he was one of those on the lead lap. He now falls one down. And
he had just completed his final pit stop.
Big bobble through the inner loop.
Ooh. I think that was more of hitting that curb than it was fresh tires.
Sure, yeah. But you know what? Pitting, this happens a lot, and it's hard to even counter. But when you're into a rhythm at one of these tracks, or any track for that matter, and you pit, it breaks that rhythm. Just you don't pit every lap. And it's difficult, and some people have figured out how to counter that. It's tough. I don't know if I really have a counter to that. I just try to get back into the room as quickly as I can after that stop. It is tough to stay locked in, even though you're only stopped for 15 seconds. It's a change from focused in the entire time.
Yeah, being super focused on your laps and hitting all your marks correctly, you get in that rhythm, and that's kind of how drivers get there. Focusing on their marks, focusing on the lap, focusing on the turns, next turn coming up. It kind of helps you get there. Then once you take that pit stop, that 15 seconds to breathe and kind of relax for a second to get yourself back in that mentally strong state of focus is sometimes tough, and can catch some guys out just a bit. And then also you're readjusting to brand new tires and more fuel in the car. The car's feeling a lot different than it felt the last 10 laps or so. So it's it takes an adjustment, and sometimes catches drivers out.
So we're watching Seth Fitzpatrick, and he's not one of the drivers who's going to be pitting anytime soon. But he is not, at his current pace anyway, going to make it on fuel. So the question is, is it just going to be a splash and go at the end? Is it going to be enough fuel where can you consider tires? And that, the road course is 2 tires even a call? I think you have to take 4 tires if you take any tires. He's got a gap to take tires too if he wants to be safe, but we've also seen mistakes on cold tires.
Yeah, and it's going to be really close to the end of the race. So, do you chance to get new tires? Do you chance to get fuel, or a lot of fuel, or are you just going to take the fuel that you need? Very difficult decisions to be made here for the 2-car. I mean, it does look like when he does pit, he would fall behind the 82 of Adrian Schumacher, but again, Adrian has to pit as well. And then everyone behind him is further back, so he will come out in front of Seth Berger if he were to pit now. So yeah, it's an interesting strategy call. Do you make that call? When do you make that call? And what do you do on that call? I guarantee you that Schumacher's going to be saying, I'm probably only going to take fuel only. With the issues he's had on fresh tires, he's probably going to try and go as long as he can here and then take a splash at the end just to get him across the line. So, yeah, it's with Seth Patrick now in your horde. What do you do?
And he has never won an Outlaw Sim Series race before. How important can a decision like that, mean? And I know he's got a 19-second gap, but he's got to be thinking to himself, depending on how much fuel he has to take. If he comes in and it's only like 3 laps, 4 laps, so be it. But if he's got to take like 6, 7 laps worth of fuel, I mean, do you take tires?
Yeah, at that point, I mean, you are in the section to possibly take 2 tires, take about a half a tank to get you to the end. But is it worth it?
It's going to throw the balance off big time. And
it is.
Is your setup going to be capable of taking 2 tires? I mean, are you going to be ready to take 2 tires? Like, it's a difficult decision to make. And again, he's got a 19-second gap to help him make that decision.
Right, and the disparity between taking 4 tires and taking a splash and go is going to be about 14 seconds. So that, I mean, that's still a 5-second window, 4-second window possibly. And
the driver behind you will be on old tires.
That's right, and the driver behind on old tires. So would you then just drive away from them? So, but again, we've seen a lot of incident on cold tires, like you said. So this is a very difficult decision for Seth Fitzpatrick. If it were me, I would take the splash and go just to cover off any any attempt from Schumacher to do so. I know that if he just takes a splash and go, he's going to be on the same tires I am, and there will be really no advantage to either driver at that point. I have enough gap between myself and third place, so splash and go seems like the logical choice in my head to just come in, take the splash, come back out, and go to the end, stay as long as you can right now, and take as little fuel as you can when you come in.
But a driver who's been as low as second today, he's led 35 laps. That is the situation that Seth Fitzpatrick is in. Adrian Schumacher, what could have been today. I didn't think, we'd get to this point of a road course race where Adrian Schumacher's been as low as 4th, and he would have 0 laps led. That's just not what I expected. Now, this is for those who think, Adrian Schumacher is the almighty on road courses and, he never makes mistakes. Now, he did have the one, but he was battling hard with Joseph Cossi when it happened at Montreal Season 1, so I guess you can lead that. Season 2, he didn't compete any road course races. He wasn't here last season. But, for what it's worth, Schumacher hasn't shown many that he can make mistakes on road courses. Tonight, he's made several.
And it's all been in this turn right here. The Laces turn number 6. And it seems to be with getting into this turn a little too hot. Coming down that hill, locking the brakes up possibly, and the rear end of the car just letting go. It's happened twice. And then he also lost it in turn 10 after heating up the tires spinning in turn number 6. So I think that had more to do with it than anything. But yeah, that turn 6 has caught him out twice tonight, and both of those times have been very detrimental to the 82 car.
Seth Berger, he's had a very, very quiet race today. He's kept it inside the top 5 all day as well. He did have the one spin that just brought him back here to Zoltan Herczeg. Without that spin, he might have a chance at Adrian Schumacher, especially the way it's been. If Schumacher made one more mistake, Seth Berger could be looking at second place. But this margin, he is 43, nearly 44 seconds back of race leader Seth Fitzpatrick. Seth Berger is at the point that he's just running around, just pretty much keeping the car on the track. there's no real need to push unless Hertzeg starts to show that he's going to be really going for it.
Yeah, right now they're running almost identical lap times, just barely off of each other. And you can see they are kind of close on track, but for Hertzeg to catch him, it's going to require a little bit more speed in that 39.
Hertzeg ran half a second faster that lap, so
he actually pushed it on
take
that lap.
back.
Yeah, he pushed it on that lap, so this could be a battle here before too long if Hertzeg keeps running lap times like that compared to Seth Berger.
And this was the first driver that I've seen not, been in the top 5 all day. This Hertzeg, he started 12. He's been as low as 14th. He had to work to get to this point. And he's done a mighty fine job and he's not too far off of a potential podium. And that would be, I think, a pretty decent reward for the day he's had to fight through the field. With a clean car, for the most part.
Yeah, I believe it would be, and I'm sure Hertzeg will take this as a good race, a good victory inside the top 5 here at a road course, knowing that there are quite a few very good drivers on road courses in front of him, and coming away with a great points finish to move himself further up in the standings. He does have the win, but moving ever so closer to the front of the pack as he loses the rear and just a bit out of the toe turn there. Yeah, moving yourself up the standings, a little bit more security coming into the playoffs. So I imagine that's what the 39 car is looking for going forward here.
Certainly, and that could be something we bring up here in a little bit as well. The points in is coming into tonight's race. So we'll keep working our way through the field for the time being. There's not too many more cars going through anyway. Jonathan Jennings, the only driver to lead a lap other than Seth Fitzpatrick today. He just gypped Seth Berger for that lap lead. Jennings has kept it inside the top 5 most of the day. This is actually the lowest he's ran all day, and it's because Hertzeg has now peaked his head. And he also had his moment at the top of the S's. It seems like everybody's at least had one spin in the top 5 or one moment besides Seth Fitzpatrick. But Jennings is the only other driver to lead a lap today so far. He started 3rd. He's been up as high as 2nd when he was duking out with Seth and Schumacher. Berger and Schumacher, I should say. And well, he's holding its station here in 5th. This is actually probably, I mean, I know this is also kind of because of the spin he had, but this, I think 5th, this is a huge disappointment for him from where he was running.
Yeah, up into 2nd at one point in time, and just not able to hang on to the position. Then he was back up into 2nd before his loop around. He had Schumacher behind him and Berger. Schumacher was closing just a bit even after his spin, but Jennings was looking at possibly a good, solid 2nd place finish for a bit there. If he could hold off the damaged car of Schumacher. And yeah, this has to be disappointing with that one mistake up on the S's, just catching him out just a bit there, and now he's fallen back to 5th place. A top 5 still a top 5, but knowing that there was more left on the table, I think, is the hurt that you feel more than the appreciation of being on the top 5.
Max Service, the first driver 1 lap down, has come into the pit lane, and he is getting his service. No pun intended. But it'll be, looks like, 4 tires and fuel for the 81. We got one more car on the lead lap. It's a 34 of Robert Gianni. He's also, oh wow, that's a throwback already. Robert Giannini. We're working on it. When I was talking to him pre-race and getting told that his last name is Giannini, he also told me that I'm not going to say it a lot today because he was going to be a non-factor. And I saw him practice. He was the last car running in practice. It was not looking too bright for him. He started 13th, but he hasn't been as low as 13th. He's only gone forward from his starting spot. He's up to 6th. I don't know if he's going to get another spot out of it, but I think he's maximized his day today for a driver who said he was going to be a non-factor.
Yeah, definitely. He's showing a lot of speed in that 34 machine. Maybe not the speed that he was thinking he was going to have here, but speed nonetheless, in a very solid finishing position. And for someone who probably thought they weren't going to do all too well, I think that sixth place finish will be really satisfying
Here
for
he comes.
Robert Giannini as he comes in for his final stop.
So that gets us to pit stops. Max Service was 7th. He was the car on the lead lap before we started our Prove a Field, or the lead lap cars. And, well, Max fell a lap down as we were talking about the other drivers on the lead lap. But Max has also had quite a day. He was up there, I guess up in the top 5, and he's now fallen to 9th as a result of outbraking himself. We'll see if those fresh tires will get him any time back. Giannini, 4 tires, and down and away for the 34 machine. Back up front, it is Seth Fitzpatrick with a 17.8 second advantage over Adrian Schumacher. And waiting on that pit stop, Robert Giannini is the highest running driver now to come back out onto the track with 2 stops. So I guess Max has had some mistake, because Max was much closer to Giannini at one point. They only had 1 lap different tires in terms of age. Max must have made a huge mistake to lose so much time to Giannini. Zoltan Herzeg is in the box.
Yep, here comes Zoltan Herzeg, our 4th place driver, coming in for his stop. Lap 41 of 55. He'll be getting 4 tires and fuel. This will be his final stop. Behind him also is Gilliard.
In 11th right now
for his final stop of the race. Again, all these drivers, most will have to take another stop. One of the drivers that may be looking to make it, possibly, will be Jeremiah Stutzman. He pitted the latest of all of the front runners. He is a lap down currently in 8th place, but he did get the lap 27, coming to 28, so he may make it.
And the leader is in.
Well, here's the call here. And here comes Schumacher. You can see him on the outside there. There's Adrian Schumacher going by now.
Fitzpatrick is in the box. This is going to be intriguing. He's going to get 4 tires. So what he's going to do is going to put himself behind Schumacher. He's going to put him 4 fresh tires. He's going to try to chase Schumacher down. And, you know, chase on any advantage Schumacher might get if he tries to splash and go. This is intriguing.
Yep. So now if you're Schumacher, I think in order to possibly have a shot to win this race, it's got to be a dash or a splash and go.
He's got to go. He's got to run hard, and he's got to get to a splash.
Yep, get to the splash and go. Come in, get the fuel, get right back out, and try and hold off this 2 car, having run quite a few laps on his tires by then, but still fresh rubber, no matter how how many laps it is. But once these tires get worn on these 2 cars, it's going to be a little bit harder for him to complete a pass the way he would want to, and Schumacher may be able to hold him off. But you got to get to that splash first if you're the 82 car.
So an intriguing strategy development. Adrian Schumacher, now a race later, as Seth Fitzpatrick, who had a 17-second advantage over him, comes and makes his final stop of the day. And that's what we were questioning, was he going to take 4 tires? And, he chose to take 4 tires, and he chose to give himself the buffer, to take those 4 tires and make up that time should he need to. So far, and I know he's still on his out lap from the pit lane, but he has not really reeled in Adrian. And now he is starting to reel him in.
Yeah,
now big time.
Now he's reeling him in.
Oh, Adrian's on pit road. That's why. So Adrian's covering off the stop. Well, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to fare for Schumacher. But Adrian should get the lap led.
Here comes Seth Fitzpatrick.
Intriguing. I figured Schumacher would at least go as long as he can. Maybe.
Okay. He goes. Oh, no.
Missed the box a little bit. Just to add on. Seth Berger is in.
So All of the podium
And
drivers
2
are
tires for
pitting.
Schumacher. And he's 16 seconds back of Sif Fitzpatrick. This is, let's see if Schumacher's going to be able to hold on with 2 tires. It's going to be a difficult car to handle.
I believe so as well. And then here is Seth Berger in.
In the 2015 Jimmy Johnson inspired livery, it's just a splash and
Fuel and
go.
go. Fuel and go for Berger.
This is to get him away from Herczeg, potentially. Actually, yeah, Herczeg's already pitted. So this is to give him a buffer to Herczeg, who's already, short pitted Seth. This is huge. Can Seth now hold off Herczeg on fresher tires?
Yeah, he has a nice little buffer here. It's not too much, about 7 seconds. So, yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Herczeg again, 4 fresh tires. Seth Berger, no tires and just fuel here. He's got to run about 12 laps, 13 laps to get to the end of the race. Can he hold him off at the end of this race?
Jonathan Jennings still has yet to pit in that top of the drivers on the lead lap. What that means, though, with Fitzpatrick coming in, is Giannini is going to be solidly 1 lap down. And that leaves us 5 on the lead lap. Jennings, the only driver on the lead lap to not pit yet for the 2nd time. And it is a grab bag of strategies around him. It's Fitzpatrick on 4 tires, Schumacher on 2, Berger on none, and Herczeg on 4 old tires.
Yeah, so
and Jennings is still out there.
Yeah, mixed bag of tire strategies. Man, this is getting really interesting here. Behind Seth Fitzpatrick, it looks like Fitzpatrick kind of gonna run away with this one possibly, unless there's some type of caution, I would assume. But yeah, looks like these guys behind him, Jennings, Berger, Herczeg, gonna be really coming together towards the end of this race. Jennings again still having to pit, but Berger and Herczeg especially, that gap is coming down quite a bit now, down to about 3 to 4 seconds, and it's going to get tight between those drivers very quickly.
So overall, Schumacher has gained time on Fitzpatrick, but it's negligible in terms of that we only have 11 laps to go this time by for Seth Fitzpatrick. The fact that Adrian Schumacher's gained a 2nd through that entire strategy call means little in the grand scheme of things. And Schumacher actually loses time to Seth Fitzpatrick at this time. And as Fitzpatrick comes around to 11 laps to go, Devin, I do want to take a look at the point standing coming into tonight's race. And right now, Jennings is in 3rd. And I know he still has to get to pit, but Max is back in 9th. So this could be huge. We're talking about the point lead.
That's a good point swing there between 3rd and 9th. But again, Jennings still having to pit, so we'll have to see how far he drops back. I assume it's going to be close to be going a lap down around the 5th place position. With Giannini, though, pushing hard, maybe he'll fall back into the clutches of Giannini or Scott Bailey, but we'll have to see when he comes in and what that looks like. Again, Scott Bailey and Jeremiah Stutzman have yet to stop. Jeremiah Stutzman looking to push the 1-stop fuel. He's already stopped, maybe trying to make it to the end. And Scott Bailey will have to come in again, along with Jonathan Jennings. But, yeah, it's kind of an interesting development there in the point standings. Max Service, though, sitting in 9th place. Another top 10 on the way for Max, more than likely. But, yeah, it's going to get really tight at the top if it stays anything like it is right now.
Yeah, just looking around, looking at the points again. Fitzpatrick looking on his way. Well, I'm not going to say anything, but he is looking pretty. Sitting pretty is the 2 of Fitzpatrick. Schumacher, with a great point stay, should rocket himself into the top 10 easily tonight. Not that he was not going to make the playoffs, but put himself solidly in the playoffs. Jennings should close the gap to Max, maybe even potentially change the point lead. Berger should close a little bit on Jennings and Max if Jennings still has to get the pit. Hertzeg should also get himself nearly inside the top 10. Giannini is not even on this points graphic, so it'll be a huge thing for him to have a decent run tonight. Scott Bailey there in 6th, trying to see if he can maintain that. Stutzman should be... we'll see what Stutzman does. I think another top 10 is on the way for Stutzman if he stays out to the end. Max Service again, trying to nurse a slim point lead by the end of tonight's race. Trying to maintain that anyway. And Daniel Molnix, not even in this on this graphic. He's the one running in 10th. Jacob Reeves there in 7 points. He's in 11th. James Gillard there 10th in points. He's running 12th. Rogers is not... I was going to say, I thought Matt Rogers was on the graphic. He's not on the graphic. He's in 13th. Doug Solms is on that cut line, by the way. He's 14th. Adam Gardner is running 15th, as he's also P15 in the points. Out of the race so far is St. Cour, now McMurtry, St. Cour, Mickey, Marty Phillips, Brad Boffo, Nicholas Shelton, and Devin Smith.
Yeah, a lot of bubble drivers out of this race so far. That could really affect where they stand in the point standings. Is going to have to make it up somewhere else, and we're not getting any easier tracks after Watkins Glen. It's going to pick up and ramp up in intensity all the way until the playoffs start. So these drivers really going to have to put in the work in the weeks to come, having retired from this race.
Potential battle brewing for position. This is Giannini going to fend off Scott Bailey and Jeremiah Stutzman. Trying to get close here for the 6th position. This is all battle 1 lap down, but there's all 4 drivers in the same frame.
And Giannini's already stopped. Scott Bailey has not stopped. And Jeremiah Stutzman is trying to make this on 1 stop. So, yeah, this is quite a development here. I don't know if Scott Bailey's going to be able to make it on a stop. He'll have to pit again, but will he just do a splash and go? Giannini, again, already stopped, but he is being catched by these drivers behind him. Probably the one that he could lose that position to most likely is going to be Jeremiah Stutzman.
Scott Bailey is absolutely on it, though. If Bailey can maybe stretch it. He is absolutely gaining on Giannini. And Giannini's pitted, so there's no need for Giannini to be saving.
Yeah, for Bailey to make it to the end, he would have to run 30 laps on a tank of fuel right here.
He on 22? It says he's on 20 on my end. Unless he's a lap down.
I'm seeing 21. And yeah, lap down, so...
That'll help him out a lap. Max has gotten by Jeremiah Stutzman. That'll help out in the points battle.
Yep, so Max is going to be catching up to this feud in front of him as well.
Now Max, remember, he was battling Giannini. He outbroke himself. If he can get back up there, you know, that'd be righting the wrongs from earlier anyway for himself. These two are really close, Stutzman and Service. I don't think Stutzman's going to put too much pressure on Max, though. It is what can Bailey do to maybe force Giannini into a mistake? Because Bailey, he was really hounding Giannini there for a second.
Yeah, he was. He was right on the back bumper. He's kind of falling back now, though, having to regather himself to get back to the bumper of the 34 car. But right now, it doesn't look like he's doing it. In fact, that he is losing a little bit of time at the moment, falling a little bit further behind. Not careful before long, Max Service will start to come into the picture for that 11 car.
Adrian Schumacher has brought the lead gap within 15 seconds. Well, it just fluctuated there. But they brought it down to 14.9 seconds at one point. Might be too little too late, but he is certainly pushing the issue.
He is almost a second faster. The last time by was Adrian Schumacher again. Schumacher got 2 tires. Fitzpatrick got 4. So Not sure what to talk about that disparity there, but Schumacher really pushing the 82 car, getting the most out of that car tonight. Again, he is taking off a second on the last lap.
Yeah, Scott Bailey is now really losing touch with Robert Giannini. Dux Holmes lets Schumacher go on through. No problem. Schumacher continues on, still maintaining that 15-second deficit to Seth Fitzpatrick. We've seen lap traffic already impede the two car once tonight. Cost them about a second. No, not saying that they will, but I don't see really any lap traffic ahead of them.
No, not really. It seems like clear track in front of Seth Fitzpatrick now. He's going to be coming to 7 to go this time by. So smooth sailing here. Just need to keep it good for 7 more laps as that 2 car to get his first win. He can almost smell it. He's starting to probably creep in his head that he can get it done tonight, Emerson.
Something else that's starting to creep is Zoltan Hertzeg to the rear end of Seth Berger. That's nearly a 1 second deficit now. Hertzeg may be looking for that 4th position soon. Under a second at that point.
Yeah, he could be again. Hertzeg pitted a few laps before service, but got fresh tires. Service came in, or sorry, not saying service. Berger. Seth Berger came in and took fuel only, no tires. Hertzeg is on 4 fresher tires when he came in. So a big tire disparity, and you can see the closing rate there between the 39 and the 77. How much he can just gain off of these turns and able to put the power down because of the fresher tires.
Yeah, he has gained big time. I don't know if Seth's trying to save, but if Seth wants to hold on to the spot, he's got to go on. Oh, remember, Seth didn't take tires, and Hertzeg did 2 laps. The difference of their pit stops, but doesn't matter. Hertzeg's got the better tire life, and Scott Bailey is on the pit lane, or no, he's at an off.
Yeah, Scott Bailey's had an off. Right, and yeah, where are we at here? That's going to be the laces. So yeah, right in front of the battle that we were watching. With Seth Berger and Zoltan Hertzeg. They're going to come up to him very soon.
Looks like we're going to find it here. This is the 11 of Scott Bailey. He was catching, and he just had an off there in the bus stop.
Wrong.
Yep. You know, he's about to cut the track, so he just stopped. Oh, no. So he stopped to minimize any time penalty that he was going to get there. Max Service went on through. Jeremiah Stutzman went on through. That is a game changer for that battle.
And that allows Max Service to get up a little bit closer. A little bit closer to Jonathan Jennings to prevent any gap that Jennings might have gained on Max Service.
Jennings is still out here, by the way. Is 3rd in the card for Jennings.
He's going to have to. I think he's pushing for that quick splash and go.
What's also being pushed here is Seth Berger. Here it is. Oh, Berger! Trying to dive to the inside of Matt Rogers.
And Matt Rogers locked up into the turn. Berger was able to complete the pass, but so was Zoltan Hertzeg. They worked their way through the S's. Hertzeg all over the back bumper of the 77 car now as they come onto the back straightaway.
On the back straightaway into the bus stop chicane. Seth, he's got to fend him off 5.5 long laps remaining in this battle. And Seth, with also probably not being helped by the rear end damage, the tires that he lit up, and the fact that he just has older tires than Zoltan Hertzeg. This is going to be a very tough task for Seth Berger. I also want to mention Adrian Schumacher has now brought it down to 13.5 seconds back of Seth Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, we saw Seth Berger put up a masterful defense earlier in the race. He's going to have to do that again. So far, he's been able to stay ahead of Herzig. Herzig's kind of been mired exactly where he's at for about 2 laps now. So, so far, so good for Seth Berger, putting up a great defense. Just needs to keep it steady and have some really good laps till the end of the race. 5 to go.
Oh, and the 11 of Scott Bailey is not going to do anyone any favors right here. They both worked their way on through.
I think it compromised Berger on exit.
Jennings is on the pit lane. There he is. So this is now the battle for the final spot on the podium. And Schumacher's brought the gap down to 12.7 seconds. It might be too little too late, but he's certainly trying.
He is certainly trying indeed, but yeah, I think it's too little too late. 12 seconds actually where it is now. I'm seeing 12 seconds, 12 and a half on my screen. I don't think he can make that up without some help in 5 laps. But this battle right here for the final podium position really heating up. Herzig still not able to close the gap all that much. He closes it in some sections, but Seth pulls away in others. And right now, Berger is putting up another masterful defense to stay where he is in the final podium position.
But Herzig, he's just able to attack the entry to corner better with so much more grip. Here on the exit, Seth's just got to play with the throttle over the curbing. And I wonder, you know, we did talk to him pre-race, and I've raced a couple races with Seth at these road courses. As they get into, well, really in the shorter races that we ran, about halfway, he's complained about potential knee pain. Now, he said today he's wearing a knee sleeve. I don't know if that's going to be the be-all, end-all. I'm sure his knee is not, you know, doing him any favors right now. That's got to be another huge factor that he's battling right now, along with the older tires and hard-charging Zoltan Herzig. He was, I got to say, he was very smart when it comes to knowing when to push this button.
Yeah, he is, and right now, 4 to go. As they come to the line, the final turn here, going to take the 4 to go. But it is oh so close between these two drivers, really close to the wall there was Berger. And you can see the closing rate of the 39 as they come down this front straightaway. Oh, into the turn, and Seth stays ahead. But man, oh man, is that closing rate in the braking zones from the 39 ever so close.
4 laps to go. Seth Berger trying to hang on. Zoltan Herzig down the back straightaway. He's charging, but he's got to get closer if he's going to make a legitimate move. Maybe Seth, was he saving to the point where Herzig caught him and he's going to push here? Or did Herzig maybe burn up his stuff trying to catch Seth?
It could be a combination of both. You just never know unless you're in the car, but all we can admire here is the brilliant attacking prowess of the 39, trying to get around the 77 by all means necessary.
A little bit of a bobble from Seth and the laces.
Yep, and then the defense that the 77 is putting up. We admired it earlier, the defense that he had early on in the race. Again, putting on another great defense, just running his race, putting the car where he needs to put it to make it oh so difficult for Zoltan Herzig to find any opening or a good exit to get by him or get beside him going into a braking zone.
Schumacher's brought it within 12 seconds of the race lead. Too little too late, but a masterful drive. Schumacher definitely had the pace to win tonight. Not able to piece this race together in one piece.
Yeah, and unfortunate we didn't get that good battle for the win that we were looking for. But, I mean, it's got to be said that Seth Fitzpatrick has done what he needed to do. No mistakes at all. Maybe one at the very beginning of the race, locking up the front tires, getting into the first turn. But other than that, it has been a masterful drive for that 2 car. He has really been on it all night long.
3 laps to go in this battle between Berger and Herzeg. Oh, Herzeg hating that inside curbing in 4.
Picks up a lot of speed down the backstretch, but still too far back to make any big move into the bus stop. However, he stays just as close to the back bumper of Seth Berger, trying not to let him escape. Big time move here in the carousel, though.
Big run for Herzeg. Can he maintain it into the laces? Nose to tail in here. Herzeg closing in on that lift works rear bumper, trying to get the crossover. A little bit of curbing. That's going to hurt Herzeg. A bobble for Seth over the curbing on exit.
Yeah, Herzeg really close to clipping the grass on the entrance. He overdrives the turn. Oh, he's going to try and set it up off, though, and get a good run.
It's a decent run, but it's not good enough. He's going to lose time overall. Down the hill. Berger bobbles under braking. 10.5 seconds the gap for the lead.
Yeah, this is the best battle on the track for the final podium position. Again, another great turn for the 39 through turn number 9. They come to turn 10 and not able to get it done this time. It's going to be 2 laps to go when they come. Herzeg tries to make the move. Seth covers him off into the final turn.
Seth got a little too much curbing there. Out of 10. Here we go. He's on his rear end. Nose to tail down the front straightaway. 2 laps to go.
Herzeg is there. He's on the back bumper of Seth Berger as they go through turn 1. No, about less than a car length between these two drivers. Now they head up through the S's. This is where the 39 has been a little bit faster than the 77. Again, the 77 on old tires. Herzeg on new tires. He looks to the outside as they go through turn 4, trying to set him up down the back straightaway.
Herzeg, he's going to think about sending it here into the bus stop. He fills up the mirror. Seth drives it deep into the bus stop. Herzeg took it easy on the entry. Who can maximize the exit?
Seth Berger pulls out a nice gap through the bus stop, really sending the car into the bus stop as best as he can. We saw them do that earlier in the race to perfection. Again, another perfect bus stop for the 77 as he maintains the final position, but it is not over yet. Herzeg again back to the bumper as they head down through the laces into the toe of the boot section.
Off the final corner for the penultimate time, Seth Fitzpatrick will take the white flag, presented by Whiplash Sim Cams. He's got a 9-second advantage over Adrian Schumacher. Schumacher's been hard charging, but this is the battle we're going to keep our eyes on. Oh, and Max Service is spun there in the exit.
Oh, they got both. They got Seth Berger out of shape, and Herzeg is able to take advantage. He's on the inside.
Max Service is going to lose a spot to Stutzman. Side by side in this battle for third. Into turn 10. Herzeg on the inside. Berger on the outside. Berger drives it hard.
And he stays ahead. Berger, another great defensive maneuver as his teammate was turned around in the hill. And Herzeg again loses the rear end off of the final turn. That's going to hurt his chances coming down to turn 1. However, he sends it hard, and he's not going to be able to get there.
One more time around. Berger now using all that track on the outside of that turn 1 curbing. Herzeg painting the rear end. Schumacher's brought the gap down to under 8 seconds for the race lead.
Herzeg really setting up the back straightaway run here, trying to get as much as he can into the bus stop.
This is going to be a dive.
He peers out. Here comes the dive, possibly.
Nope.
No, he tucks back in.
Did he make Seth think about a dive, though? They come off the bus stop. Still nose to tail.
Nose to tail through the carousel, sir, and Herzeg tries to stick it there on the inside. He's there, door to door, going into the laces section.
Into the laces. Who can get through here better? Herzeg wide. Berger on the inside line. They're going to be side by side. Coming through. Down to the toe. While this goes on, Seth Fitzpatrick is going to win for the first time in his Outlaws Sim Series career. And Herzeg makes the pass. Congratulations to Seth Fitzpatrick on a phenomenal drive for his first career Outlaws Sim Series victory. But here comes Seth Berger on Zoltan Herzeg.
Seth Berger thinks about sending it, tries to overshoots the turn, and that effectively will end the contest for the final podium position as he is loose on exit of the heel section. Zoltan Herzeg completing the pass in the toe section. A magnificent battle here for the final podium position as they round turn number 10.
Zoltan Herzeg is going to come to the final corner, and he will get a podium finish tonight at Watkins Glen. A phenomenal job by Zoltan Herzeg to sit behind and get that that battle done on Seth Berger. The victory for Seth Fitzpatrick. He's already been celebrating. Doing donuts down here in turn 1. And he's already blown the engine. The last car in the lead lap is Jonathan Jennings to come across the line. He is still out and about the racetrack. And I think that's the engine blown on the 2 car. Catch up with Jonathan Jennings, who just finished the race. And every car in the lead lap has... Oh my goodness! Well, Seth Fitzpatrick finally gets it done. So we're going to go ahead and bring him on up. He's got a conga line of cars pushing him. We're going to bring him on up. Seth Fitzpatrick, you are a winner in the Outlaws Sim Series, and you did it in dominating fashion. Seth, how about it?
Man, I don't even know. This one's been a long time coming, Emerson. I'm just stoked that I finally got one. Blew the motor up. I want to do more burnouts when I'm over here getting hit now. The motor's done blowed up. I want to do more burnouts.
Certainly, you would deserve to do more burnouts at that, Seth. It was a fantastic race. You led 53 of the 55 laps tonight, only losing laps on pit cycles to Adrian Schumacher and Jonathan Jennings. You were firmly in control tonight. I know you had that hard battle with Joseph Kazi at Watkins Glen last year. Does this make up for it? Do you even remember that in the whole grand scheme of things?
Oh, I didn't forget it, man. There's been so many second place runs and so many good runs that I've gotten knocked out of that I've thought I've had winning cars, and to finally come out here and put it all together, man, I don't even know what to say. I'm just glad I've finally done it. Finally got that monkey off my back.
Absolutely, Seth. You've been a driver we've watched week in and week out over the course of the past season and a third of this season as well, where you just showed up and you've had top 5, top 10 speed almost every week, podium speed a lot of the weeks, and it just was not meant to be in previous weeks. But you were able to get it done tonight. You qualified on pole, you muscled Adrian Schumacher through, and you dominated the race from there. How was that to get it over one of the road ringers tonight?
I knew Adrian was going to be the man to beat, and I do want to apologize about turn 1 on lap 1. That car was just horrible on new tires, and I locked the right front up on him and just nudged him a little bit. I do want to apologize about that. But yeah, I knew he was going to be the man to beat, and I was just kind of watching the time, and as the laps clicked down, I just kind of was wanting to back my pace up and just make sure. I knew he wasn't going to get. I knew how much I could give to him, and him not get to me. And I'm just glad. I'm here.
From seeing the pit stop to the final gap, were you a little surprised how much he caught, or?
No, not really, because I was giving up a little bit. I wasn't putting it all out there. I wasn't wanting to, because I was afraid I was going to make a mistake.
Yeah, at that point, there's no need to push. You were settled on. Nobody else was gonna undermine you on strategy. It was all yours. Nonetheless, you made him push as hard as he can. We've never seen Adrian Schumacher make mistakes like he's done tonight on a road course. You made him work, and I think that's a huge part for you. He's always one that people think is not human on road courses, And certainly you made him just try to do anything to catch you. But Seth, tonight's about you. Again, dominance. It's been a long time coming for your first Outlaw Sim Series win, and it was dominated by you. Congratulations on that win. And what's next now for you?
Hoping that we broke the ice and we can just go get more. That's all that's in the headlights right now. Is more wins, more wins, more wins.
Right on. Well, a driver who certainly looked like a championship contender last season is starting to size up to be one this season with his first Outlaw Sim Series win. Seth Fitzpatrick, congratulations on, again, the dominant victory. Best luck to you in the coming weeks, man.
Thank y'all.
That was driver of the number 2, Seth Fitzpatrick. And Devin, again, a first-time winner in the Outlaw Sim Series in back-to-back weeks. And tonight, this, I mean, how you recall even last season, I mean, how long we've been trying to see if Fitzpatrick was going to get it done. And again, he said he didn't forget losing out last season to Joseph Causey and how many second-place finishes he's had over the course of, I guess, the past 32 races. This one's been a long time coming, and I think probably the most well-deserved one, if any.
Yeah, for sure. Another masterful performance that he had at Watkins Glen last season. And the trucks, again, puts another masterful performance here in the NextGen car and deservedly gets the win. Didn't put a foot wrong, except for you heard him mention it at the very beginning of the race. But other than that, he was clean and tidy the entire time. Did what he needed to do, brings home the checkered flag, and a big congratulations again, like you said, Emerson, well deserved for Seth Fitzpatrick. We've talked to him many times in that second place position. I've had the pleasure of interviewing him those times, and he's like, I need to get one. Eventually, I am going to be there, and he finally accomplishes it tonight.
Well, we'll be right back with more post-race coverage, post-race interviews, finish results, and more. And don't you go anywhere. More coverage from the Outlaw Sim Series here at Watkins Glen Full on the far side. Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Watkins Glen International. We're in the post-race coverage of the Outlaw Sim Series, round number 12 from Watkins Glen. With the boot layout, it was a wild night, to say the least. And the driver who certainly was the fastest tonight at most points tonight, Adrian Schumacher. That was a tough outing for you. Turn 6 seemed to catch you out a bit tonight. I know you had the contact with Seth Fitzpatrick on the opening lap. What happened tonight, man?
Yeah, just a series of unfortunate events. But I'm actually glad I came second out of all that.
Yeah, it was wild. We were starting to wonder if you were even gonna hold on to that position. Of course, the strategy that was pulled there on the second stop was intriguing, because we saw Fitzpatrick come in, and I know you're at that point. You're down 17 seconds to him. What drew you to the decision to pit right after him and take 2 tires as opposed to maybe going longer and trying to splash and feel it at the end?
Yeah, just new tires once they get warmed up does wonders. And I knew my traditional methods would not work, so I tried something different.
Fair enough. So again tonight, it's a tough night. Cold tires caught you out there a couple times in the yeah, I guess the second time you went around in 6. Was it just try to push to maintain that gap that you had to Fitzpatrick, or did they just absolutely catch you out?
I did have a little bit of problem with my steering wheel with not being straight.
Oh no.
For like probably the whole race, but yeah. That's it.
Right on. Well, Adrian, we look forward now to what's coming up. We got a lot of the craziness of the schedule out of the way. We're getting some mile and a halves, which I know aren't necessarily your thing, because you still have yet to get a win on them. But I know you're more at home in those, because you can really play the tire conservation game there, and you got some more road courses coming up through the summer months. How are you looking forward to this? I guess middle portion of the schedule coming up.
I'm excited about it. Just mile and a half not really like strong suit, like you said. That'll be interesting.
Right on. Well, Adrian, we're gonna leave you to it. Again, you finished second despite all the mistakes tonight. You got yourself a lap led, and it was a hard-fought race at that. You brought the gap down big time there at the end. Nothing to scoff at. It was a great run tonight, Adrian. Congratulations on the second place finish. Best luck to you in the coming weeks, man.
Thanks.
Driver of the number 82, Adrian Schumacher, and Devin, you get to talk to the winning driver of that insane final battle there between Zoltan Herzog and Seth Berger. Zoltan Herzog gets the final podium position. Devin, he's headed your way.
Yeah, we bring up Zoltan Herzog in a masterful battle to get the final podium position. Zoltan, that final battle with Seth Berger, walk us through those last couple of laps and how you were able to get that move done.
Yeah, that was awesome racing him. He was quick, and that was really tough. Just trying to keep the rear tires on it while driving the hell out of the car. It was tough, and I'm glad we kept it clean. I'm glad I didn't get up into him. I thought I was gonna wreck him for a second, and but that was just a blast keeping up with him, trying to keep up with him, and just I'm so happy to be able to get by him right at the end. That was just really cool. So kudos to him. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they had great racing, great defense throughout the night. You started in the back, starting in 12th position. I guess the middle pack of the field there. But chose not to qualify, had trouble in qualifying, and then slowly made your way up. Just how were you able to kind of weave your way in and out of the traffic, getting through up to third place?
Yeah, so we came into the race not having a setup, so we ran the baseline Watkins Glen setup, and in qualifying, I was like, or in practice, I mean, I felt like there was a lot more time that we could have gained on braking. So during qualifying, I was just testing different master cylinder like settings, and we were able to kind of find something that was already a little bit better, and so I wasn't able to get a lap in for qualifying. So I told myself, we were all kind of all B&G Motorsports, we were all on the same page, kind of just relax, get to the end, try to get to the end, and just bide our time. But yeah, so we started the race, and I think it was lap 3. I looped it, and I was really mad at myself, and then the tires were shot. So I figured, I'm gonna short pit. I'm just gonna make it because no matter what, we had to stop 2 times. So I was gonna try to split the race up into kind of even segments, but I wanted to keep the last segment a little bit shorter, so I had better tires for the whole run. And I wound up gaining a good amount of time on the first pit stop because it looked like everybody was trying to extend the fuel to get to the second stage. And luckily, I had a nice big gap behind me, in front of me, so I was able to pit and not lose any positions, so I didn't lose out on stage points, and I was able to gain some time with that short pit. But yeah, it was just trying to relax and trying to keep the car in one piece. And after I looped it that one time, I told myself to just keep it on the track, and that's what I tried to do.
Yeah, that's kind of the name of the game. It seems like here at the road courses, keep it on that black surface, and you'll be all right at the end. Again, you bring home a third place this week, second place last week, and a lot of momentum coming from that B&G Motorsports camp going forward here with an impressive win last week, and again, like you said, second place for you, and then third place this week. Going forward, what are you guys looking forward to? What is the strategy call the rest of the way to get yourselves and lock yourselves, a little bit higher up in the standings for the playoffs?
The strategy is just to finish races. That's the biggest thing right now. We finally got enough kind of races under our belts that we're getting used to the car. Because really before this, I really didn't race the NextGen car that much at all, and so just we got used to it, and just try to get finishes. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, you gotta to win the race first. You must finish. So that is definitely the name of the game. Any of the tracks that are coming up on the schedule? I know we got a couple of short tracks, then we kind of get back into the 1.5 miles. Any of those tracks kind of standing out for you as you're looking forward to run going forward?
I know I'm looking forward to the 1.5 miles. I'm not big on short track racing, but I do want to try to get better at it. So that is one thing to kind of look forward to, even though I don't like the tracks. But yeah, just looking forward to those 1.5 miles. I know we have decent baseline setups for that, and yeah, that's about it. Sounds
good. And I know that it's a long season, and of course you got to kind of pace yourself, take it one race at a time. But like I said, there is a lot of momentum building up in that B&G camp going forward. We wish you all the best of luck the rest of the way, and yeah, we'll be hopefully talking to you guys a lot more coming up here in the future races.
Yeah, I hope so. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
We appreciate it, and we'll get you back down. Congratulations again on the third place finish.
Thank you.
And that was third place finisher Zoltan Hertzeg. And I want to thank Jeremiah Stetson for sticking around, because even though if we don't have an interview to finish out, he is more than willing to stick around and get a post-race interview. And I know he had a phenomenal run today, but there's just no way after hearing that I can't not interview the other driver in that fantastic battle at the end, Seth. You end up coming up just a little bit short, but Seth, that was somebody who pitted for tires, and you had on that second stop. How crazy was that battle?
That was, I think, the hardest I've ever driven on a road course in my life. That was an absolute blast. When I first came out pits, I saw I only had a 5-second gap to him, and I thought there was no way I was going to hang on to it, and somehow I did. Or, well, until the last lap.
It was phenomenal. He actually mentioned, and I guess now that it's over, I guess it's okay to mention. He said he was more or less on the baseline Watkins Glen setup. He just made a couple changes to the master cylinder for braking wise. But I know, I believe y'all were in a similar setup as well. So that was more kind of mano y mano, driver on driver right there. Not really any setup doing too much of the talking there. When he's tailing you and filling up your mirror and swerving to the right and to the left, are you paying any attention to that? Did that like make you think a little bit going into the inner loop at any point, or was it always just eyes forward?
It was definitely eyes forward, but I'd see if he was trying to make a move to the inside, and I knew if I just drove in as hard as I could without wrecking it, I didn't really think he had a chance to make a move, even diving to show his nose in there. So every time I drove it in as hard as I could, and he dove back in line. So yeah, he definitely made me work for it, man. I was keeping an eye out back still, but it was definitely just do the best I could driving it in there.
I gotta say, this is probably one of your more impressive road course performances today, because you were up in top 2, top 3, or you were up in second at some points. You were on the podium for a majority of the night. You just lost out on the podium there at the end, but Seth, you were up there in the top 3 for most of the night. How did that feel? What was it, kind of putting this race together and really showing that maybe you're not Schumacher or Fitzpatrick, but you're definitely there when it comes to these road courses.
It definitely feels good. I definitely think I've improved a lot since my first road course races in this league and other series. And still got my ass handed to me. I had, 40 seconds to the leader. I know it's open setup. I don't know if he had a setup or not, but to be running as good as I did, that was great. I looped, I don't know if it was on the broadcast, but I looped it a little bit after that first pit stop, and that was just that was a mental error. I was watching that lap car, and then I realized when I looked back to the turn that I completely missed my braking zone, and luckily I didn't damage the car too bad. I think I backed it into the wall. I don't really remember. I just saw I had rear end damage, but if that didn't happen, I had third place locked up. But to fend off someone on my rear end for that many laps, I think shows a lot of improvement I've had, and I'm definitely proud of being able to hold him off, especially since he was on tires.
I gotta ask, did the knee brace help? How's the knee feeling?
Oh man, we get 5 laps in there, and it did not feel great at all. But luckily, it didn't get worse from there. So it was more. It started earlier, but it never got too bad. But as I was taking the knee brace off, it was definitely hurting pretty significantly. But it's already feeling a little better. It's just a little sore, a little weird right now. But I'd say overall, the knee brace helped me stick in there longer. And I was glad to get Litworks a good run the first time running them on the car, and I put a great show on for Burger Nation if anyone's still watching.
Right on. Well, again, a 4th place finish for you, Seth, but you, again, doesn't tell the whole story. You were on the podium for a majority of the night. Congratulations on a great run at Watkins, Glen. And yeah, best luck to you. The race is coming up. Got some short tracks, some mile and a halves. I know you're ready to get back to those mile and a halves.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
Sir, that was driver of the number 77, Seth Berger. And yeah, that's going to do it for our interviews. Now, I did mean to go through our post-race results before we took that little break there in between our interviews. So we'll go ahead and go through those results now. And well, let's get to it, Devin. Of course, it was Seth Fitzpatrick winning today. 53 laps led out of 55 laps. And I mean, he took the lead. He didn't look back. Adrian Schumacher ended up coming home in 2nd place, 10 seconds back. Doesn't really tell the whole story. Adrian made a lot of mistakes tonight, and still, there were some questions, Could he do it? Maybe. Is there? But nonetheless, Seth Fitzpatrick had his number tonight. Seth Fitzpatrick didn't put a tire off wrong at all tonight. Adrian Schumacher comes home 2nd. Zoltan Hertzeg finishes 3rd. 46 seconds back of race leader Fitzpatrick. Race winner Fitzpatrick. Seth Berger finishes in 4th. Jonathan Jennings rounds out the top 5 and a cars on the lead lap. Robert Giannini finishes in the 6th position, 1 lap down. Jeremiah Stutzman is 7th, 1 down. Max Service finishes 8th, 1 lap down. Scott Bailey 9th, 1 down. And Daniel Molnix rounds out the top 10, also 1 down. Devin?
Yeah, then in 11th place, James Gilliard 2 laps down. In 12th place, Jacob Reeves 2 laps down. Matt Rogers also 2 laps down in 13th. Doug Solms bringing it home in the top 15 and 3 laps down in 14th. And then we start getting to Heartbreak Row. Adam Gardner, he brings it home in 15th, 16 laps down. Derek McMurtry called it quits a little early. He's 27 laps down in 16th. Andrew St. Cour, 32 laps down in 17th, also calling it early night. All of these drivers after also calling early nights. John Mickey, 33 laps down in 18th. Marty Phillips, 42 laps down in 19th. And Brad Bothwell, 20th, 51 laps down. Nicholas Shelton, early incident to 54 laps down in 21st. Devin Smith, 54 laps down in 22nd. Joshua Stroud, 56 laps down in 23rd.
Wow, we had a phenomenal race tonight, Devin. That's going to do it for us, but there's still much more coming up on the channel. And let's talk about it tomorrow afternoon here in the States, 3 p.m. Eastern here in the States, 8 p.m. across the pond in the UK. British Sim Racers and the touring cars take the Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta down in Brazelton, Georgia. That is a fun place, of course. Road Atlanta, one of the iconic road courses here in the Americas, and again, those drivers absolutely loving that track. It'll be a blast to see what those TCRs can do around there. And Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern is when we're gonna begin coverage for the North American Racing League's Cash Days 24 hours here at Watkins Glen. We got a little preview of it, maybe not with stock cars on Saturday, but you got to see a little bit of the layout for this Saturday's big event. We're going to have coverage broken into parts throughout the day. Andrew Carnot IV manning a very cohesive project to get a lot of coverage done for Saturday's event. That's going to, of course, bleed into Sunday. And then after we, all rest up after a 24-hour race, we're going to be back on the air Sunday night with the MPI Cup Series. They're going to be at the Kansas Speedway. And before too long, we'll be right back into the rest of the broadcast for the next week. Tuesday, we have British Sim Racers and their Trophy Tuesdays MX-5s at Daytona. And, of course, Wednesday, the Outlaws Sim Series will be back in action at Martinsville. But, Devin, final thoughts? Thoughts on that, on the slate of races we got coming up. And, yeah.
Yeah, so the British Sim Racers there, Road Atlanta, a great little track there where they host the Petit Le Mans race. Very fun track to drive. There should be good racing there, of course. And then you said we're going to be doing that long 24-hour event for the North American Racing League, covering it in different sections and stints of that race. So be sure to tune in throughout multiple times. We're pretty much going to be live almost around the clock, but not quite. We do have to get sleep at some point, but for the most part, we will have that racing on the channels. And of course, MPI on Sunday there. It's going to be a good one. Please tune in to watch that race, and you catch all of the action at any of our social media outlets: Facebook.com/pitstoptv, Instagram.com/pit_stop_TV, Twitter.com/pitstoptv_, and YouTube.com/C/pitstoptv1, and of course on Twitch at twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV.
Well, that's what we got coming up. Again, a phenomenal night tonight. Seth Fitzpatrick, a well-deserving first-time winner of the Outlaws Sim Series. He's been had wins taken from him, and he's been, the bridesmaid for so many races in the Outlaws Sim Series. It feels good that Fitzpatrick was able to break through and get that win tonight. And we didn't get the amazing battle for the win we were expecting from a Fitzpatrick Schumacher show. We still got a good battle at the end anyway with Hertzeg and Berger. I think we had a good night tonight, Devin.
Yeah, great night of racing. We saw some great battles throughout the field, not just up at the front. We were hopefully going to see, but we saw some great battles throughout the pack, especially that next to last lap pass for the final podium position. A great battle indeed between Seth Berger and Zoltan Hertzeg. It's only going to get intense from here. 2 short tracks in a row. And then we get to the meat and potatoes of the season where you really need to move if you want to make it to the playoffs. It's going to get very tight very quickly in the playoff standings, and you got to be on your A game from here on out.
Well, that'll do it from Watkins, Glen, New York. We're happy to have had you all here tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. For all at Pit.TV, my Devin Zimmerman beside me on the call this evening, Edward Shearer doing our social media coverage tonight. I am Emerson Arden. We'll see you either tomorrow afternoon for Bitter Sim Racers Touring Cars from Road Atlanta, or on Wednesday night for Outlaws Sim Series action from the Paperclip. Good night, everyone.